I guess she wants to pick her stress.
Yeah.
But what are we saying here? Because she has to do press conferences.
If that's the thing, I guess now we're trying to redefine whether or not you have to do that.
No, you have to do that. That's you playing the tournaments. You have to do a press conference. That's just the way the game goes. It's part of your deal.
True.
So now we have to analyze how these press conferences are done. But you have to talk to the media.
So what's her actual concern then? Is it that
she can't deal with the questions? You know, you play a tough, tight game. They sometimes they probe you. You know, they put some pressure on you. You know, and so I guess for her, she's only 23 or something like that.
Yeah,
it's a lot. You know, Serena Williams exploded on the court. She had to face the media, and they asked you probing questions. And yeah, I guess in society these are tough questions, but you're getting paid big money.
Yeah, I guess
that's the argument. You're getting paid big money.
That the thing is that big money is always a gift and a curse because that's used to justify it a lot. It's like
it's still big money.
Yeah, we're gonna kidnap your kid, but you get paid big money, so expect it. Like
well,
it's
for every person. For every press conference she doesn't want to do, there's a bag of people that will say, I will do the press conference, just let me play on the court for free.
Very true. And here's the thing. Here's what I was trying to say to you, I think even last week. If you really if it's just about you wanting to do what you do and you're passionate about it, no one said you have to make money from it. But if you do want to make money from it, you kind of have to listen to the business people. The business people say, do you know what? In order for us to sell this to the TV station, we need extra content. So we need the press conferences. We need you to stand here. We need to do, that weird thing that they do on Sky Sports where they make all the players like turn around and face the camera and do that. Just so they can get all the content they need. Yeah. That's part of the game. And
if you ask those footballers, what would you be doing on that day if you went in that press conference? Nothing. Twiddling my thumbs to the next game.
Yeah.
And so my point is this. I understand the mental health aspect of what she's saying. I think people don't understand. I think most of us we're working in a world where our mental health has been so damaged that we don't even realize. Some people are going to work every day and they can't stand it.
Yeah.
That's mental health in itself.
Yeah.
But they can't quit because they have to pay their bills.
Well, here comes the point, though. Here comes the real point, right? Let's be very honest about something. The people who have ascended to these places of huge greatness have either had an unhuman amount of mental fortitude or they've had very clear mental health problems, right? So if you look at Michael Jackson, for example, and you go, Michael Jackson is super successful. How come, let's say it's a woman saying it, how come I can't be that successful as a woman? It's because of the patriarchy. Do you really want Michael Jackson's success? Because what comes with that is the mental problems, right? So, okay, let's use a more real example. Monique was saying, look at how much they're offering Chappelle, Rock, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what those guys have been through, though? Like, if you look at Chappelle's career and you look at his disappearance to Africa, you might go, do you know what? For the sake of my mental health, keep the 50 mil, keep the 60 mil. I don't even want any parts of this. But if you do want parts of it, then at the same time, you have to be clear that you're making that choice. You know what I'm saying? And I think in some ways we're getting to a point now where people are like, yo, I want all the benefits, but I don't want any of the downsides. And unfortunately, it's those downsides that generate the benefits.
I think people overestimate how much they're actually worth.
Wow.
No, seriously, to even business people.
No, facts, you're right.
Remember when Chappelle went to HBO and pitched a show to them? What did they say to him?
I mean, you're talking about the one with the
first show, the first time the Chappelle show, he took it to HBO first and pitched it to them. What did they say to him? They said, "What do we need you for?"
Oh snap!
He said, "I get the industry. There's rejections every time.
Yeah,
but you didn't have to say, what did we need you for?" Now to the untrained ear, that's like, damn, that's cold. But that was HBO saying, "You see my roster."
Yeah.
What are you bringing to our table?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like if you make a movie, for instance, your first film, you might be precious about this film. You might honestly think it bangs. But Bleffers can tell you $2,000 for the film.
True.
What are you going to say?
True.
What? Well, I think it's worth 100 million. We'll go sell it for 100 million then. Yeah, but you gave Denzel's son 60 million. You Denzel's son?
Facts.
No. So you have to, my agent always used to say to me, manage your expectations. And I think people are so hell-bent on this package image where it's not just you're doing the work, the glamour is on the Instagram as well. The lights are always flashing and you're looking glossy and good. And you want to maintain just the image. And people get stuck so within that image. And the image that doesn't necessarily equate to coins.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily equate to happiness or success.
Yeah.
It's just the image.
I think there's also just a genuine entitlement or expectation that if I am good, I should be successful.
I should be popular.
What, all of it?
Yeah,
I should be popular, but I should.
But
there are people who are good and popular, but they're upset that they're not rich.
But here's the thing, though.
Because Monique, in some version of the word, is popular, right? And she's good, as far as you know, comedy goes. But she wasn't getting the money she wanted, right? Okay. So people kind of feel like all of these things are connected.
When wasn't she getting the money she wanted? Because the only time she moaned about money was Netflix.
Yeah, because Netflix were handing out big checks.
They were to people who were worth it.
I know, right? I agree with you.
Because she offered her $500,000 to do a set.
Yeah,
for a woman who hadn't done a set in almost 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
The people that were advocating her to get that money didn't even know her comedy specials.
Yeah.
I, who was a student of the game, have been watching comedy across the pond. I believe the reason she even got $500K was because she was Monique.
Yeah. 100%.
Because if you ask me, I wouldn't. What I'm saying to you is this: if we were to book Monique to come to London at that particular time when Netflix were offering her money, the most I would say be comfortable paying her is $5,000 for the set.
I understand,
and that's me covering her flights and her accommodation. And that night you get $5,000 for a little Hammersmith Apollo. Not Hammersmith, Brixton Academy.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I'm going to shift tickets with Monique.
100%.
So more came to London and didn't shift tickets.
Yeah.
Because outside is out of mind. And there's a new generation that comes through.
I agree with you.
And so it's not necessarily a woman thing, a black thing or anything.
I agree.
It's more of where your bargaining chips at.
Yep. And I think people are losing the concept of like your bargaining position.
Absolutely.
In fact, here's the real thing. Here's the real point. All of those identity markers you just mentioned, those are the bargaining chips now.
Yeah.
Right? So now the whole point is that if I can go into the room and point out all the sort of social markers where maybe I don't have privilege, those are my chips. If you depend on those chips, then you're easily replaceable by another black person, right? So you go, oh, there's no black people here. And they go, all right, let's go get one of our favorite black people. And then you're like, oh, well, there's no new black people here. Or let's go get one of these new black people we like. Oh, there's no black women here. Let's go get a black woman. And eventually it comes down to, you haven't taken me. And the truth is, you don't believe you have any real chips. You know you don't have any real chips. You're playing the demographic thing because you're hoping that might be your ticket in. And it's a dangerous game to play, but it's one that's being offered because some people are seeing other people win off of that ticket. It's quite sad, really, because there's going to be a whole bunch of people really disappointed.
Well, the thing is, we're all hustling for a moment.
Yeah.
Nobody wants an extended period.
Golly.
It's like what Jay-Z said. He said, if you have a good run for 2 years, you just hot.
Yeah.
That's what we say. You just hot for a minute.
Yeah.
But the key is, can you come back in 4 years' time? And a lot of people fall off because what is hot will always no matter how well you cook your jollof, and it's piping hot, if you leave it long enough, it will cool down.
I think that's what Steve Harvey was saying about Cat Williams when they had their own little thing. He was saying, Steve Harvey was saying, yo, do you want 1 month of hot meals or a year of warm meals? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not Cat Williams right now, and I understand why he's talking how he's talking, but I've been consistent over decades, so we're not in the same league.
And my tapes will I mean, it's very disheartening when black people, we go for each other in that competitive way, especially with a comic comes up and the next thing is, are you better than this person? It's not necessary. It's not needed. People start to get to hating on each other, start talking about people's moves and watching each other's pockets. I heard Cat Williams say Cedric stole one of his jokes. Now, here's the thing. I honestly don't believe Cedric can steal from Cat Williams. Simply because the guy has been in the game for a minute. And the level of integrity he has brought to comedy is inspiring and just something to admire.
So
in that sense,
he's really been out the drama, to be fair.
Right. So in that sense, even if I felt Cedric stole my joke, I wouldn't bring it up. Out of respect to somebody that paved the way for someone like him. And that's some of the things you want to cut out of growing up here. I'm 40 years old now. So I'm trying to think, not as an adult, like big man, more of like look back at mistakes you made and how to move forward. And one thing that I've learned is just to be honest with people. You hear something about someone, you go straight to that person and say, hey, boom, this is what I heard about you.
Facts.
That way there's no...
We're not doing backbiting.
Because that's what it is. You're on... Because what we used to do is go to shows or perform at shows where we don't like anybody there, but because of the money you're getting that night, and the little attention you're gonna get when you're on that stage. I know men that show up to a show and be like, I'm here for the money. I'm doing 5 minutes. I get my money. I'm gone. As soon as you get on that stage and that first, roar comes from your little opening punchline, now you have to give them 4 lights to get them off the stage.
Yeah.
And so what I mean is, growing up now, I've realized just to be 100.
Yeah.
When people say keep it 100, always keep it 100.
Yeah.
That way, have you seen Best Man?
Yeah.
You know Terrence Howard's character.
Yeah.
The guy was an antagonist.
Yeah.
Always poking.
Always.
But Maurice Chestnut said, at least that nigga's honest.
Yeah.
Which is at least you can say for most cats.
Yeah. And to be honest, coming up, that's kind of how I felt. But I felt like that only works if you're around people who appreciate that. Maurice Chestnut had to say, at least I appreciate that. If not, in most places, Terrence Howard is just the guy that you want to punch in the face.
Absolutely.
And so I had quite a few confrontations, right, where it was just a case of like somebody said something, somebody stole a joke. I'd be like, yo, that's so-and-so's joke or whatever it is. From a pure heart. I wasn't trying to start beef, but I was just a case of like, I don't want to be talking about behind your back like, hey, do you see how so-and-so stole a joke? I'll come to you and say, oh, so-and-so did that joke, right? Yeah. Now, in that situation, if people don't appreciate that, you're a douchebag. Yeah. You're arrogant. Well, how dare you come and say that to me? Yeah. I think I don't even think it has to be about 40. I just think you get to a stage in your life sometimes where you are setting up more of the kind of life you want rather than trying to experience life. You're trying to set up the life you want. At that point, you realize I ain't got time to be doing back and forth and backbiting with people and so on. We kind of get to a point where I want to live at peace with all men. And
it's not that I want to live at peace with all men. I don't need to live at pease with all men. It's like, no, because I don't know all men. And how many times am I going to encounter with all these men?
As much as it's on my side, as much as it's within my control, I'm not beefing anybody.
And that's fine. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because I think with that situation of telling someone they stole a joke, familiarity has to come into play as well. You have to know these people. Yeah. Because you will be seen as a douche. Yeah. And also what you learn is this, man. You don't need to worry about that. 100%. Someone that steals jokes would essentially you just can't blow off of that. It just never works. So I don't have to. So again, you learn that, you know what? I didn't even have to give that energy, even though I was coming from a pure heart. So again, that's a learning experience. One thing I've also learned is to try and be more encouraging, and open to support. Because one thing I know is being crabs in a bucket mentality. One black person becomes successful, and we all focus on that level of what they've put out. Yeah. And it's time to judge it as whether it's good or bad. And what I've realized now is it doesn't matter. Yeah, it just really doesn't matter. I was talking to my brother today, and the boss, the hitman's boss's wife is out. Okay, yeah. Now I watched the first one. Yeah, the Hitman's Bodyguard or something like that. Yeah, and it's one of them movies. You know what I mean? Yeah. Samuel Jackson and Ryan Reynolds can carry a film. Okay. So you're going to enjoy it. Yeah. It did so well, they're going to make the sequel. And they're going to milk it for what it's worth. Yeah. And I told my brother was like, yeah. And I said, I get it. Yeah. But it's like buying Chiggy's album. Yeah. Right. You see what I'm saying? Right there. It's like buying Chingy's album. Yeah. But you've also got Jay-Z's album in the car as well. Yeah. I get it. It's not, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm watching a great classic entertaining movie. Of course not, bro. Every day got to be deep like that.
Of course, sometimes, bro. I'm gonna go watch F9. I'm not lying about it, bro.
I'm not gonna watch F9 because I stopped at F7 or 6. I can't remember. After a while, it just got ridiculous.
I stopped at F that, bro.
So I stopped at F that. But again, I get these things. I watched Kong versus Godzilla.
Man, that's one that I would have
not for any particular. No, sorry, it was Skull Island. I started Kong versus Godzilla, and I just couldn't do it because they were too big.
How did they even get to conceive both of them being in the same world?
Right, and to the point where human beings know of them and we're protecting them. They've got this. But hey, it's storytelling. Of course, and it's fantasy. Of course. It's escapism. I mean, but what I'm trying to do now is not. I think it was Sheila Rashad who was clearing.
Okay, yeah.
She said it's easy to criticize people's work.
Of course.
And that just changed my whole mindset.
Bro, it occurred to me the other day. Not the other day. It's been a few months now. But when it hit me, I was like, yo, bro, do you what? It was actually about social media that this all came about. That in my head. But I was like, if you look at a tall building, right? There's somebody who built it or planned it out. There's somebody who is saying, oh, I don't like how that looks, or I think that that's a good building or whatever. And then there's somebody who's like looking after it or destroying it, right? At each stage, there's a level of skill needed.
Yeah.
The skill needed to say, I like it, I don't like it, it's at the bottom. Everybody can do it. The skill required to look after the building or destroy the building is a bit more skill, but, you know, there are more people who can do it. But the skill to build the building, only few people have that. Only people who have the architectural knowledge, know how to put stuff together, and so on and so forth. In the same way, if you are building any kind of concept, organization, company, podcast, whatever it is, very few people can do it. If you're talking about whether or not you can like maintain a podcast or destroy or take someone's podcast out, more people can do it. But if you're talking about whether someone can sit there and say, I like it, I don't like it, whatever it is, almost everyone can do it. So when you understand the skill level of each person where they are, then you know who you're listening to. If I'm going to get an opinion about a building, I'd much rather ask somebody who has architectural knowledge, because then I'm going to go, your skill level in this matter is much higher. Any person can work and say, I like it, I don't like it. That's cool, whatever. But your skill level's low in this. Apply this back to what you're saying, you know, when you go and do stand-up or whatever work we create and whatnot. Bro, if you tell me that a joke wasn't really coming together, it means something else completely than if... Bro, my wife's opinion means a lot to me in everything in life. But when it comes to stand-up, there's so many jokes she's told me she doesn't like. That joke bangs till today. And later on, she comes back and says, oh, you know, that. Okay,
but you know, it's funny. You know, it's funny because you can't really base your funny on the people that are close to you or your friends. You really got to base it on the audience you're performing for, because friends are not your performance. Friends are not your audience. And I learned that. Because, you know, everybody's like, you know, if your friends ain't championing me like this, I don't want it. It's like, your friends might not like your comedy.
100%.
They're not. That's not why they're your friends.
I'm very true. Most of my friends probably don't like my comedy.
You know
what I'm saying? And I got cool with that. I used to complain a lot.
Yeah, but you got to live. But they don't find you funny. They don't find you funny.
This is it. Do you know what used to get to me, though? It's when people would come to me and be like, yo, bro, can you get me tickets to Mo's show? I used to take that personal, like, no. You know, I'm trying to sell you tickets all the time. Yeah. And you, not only are you saying no, you're saying, can you get me someone else's tickets? Yeah. Right? I took that as disrespect. Now, I'm like, you didn't want to come to my show.
Simple.
That's one issue. Fine. No problem. You want to go to Mo's show? Let me see what I can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you see what I'm saying? Separating those issues and not making this one personal and part of this one. Freeing, bro.
Absolutely.
So much freedom.
So much freedom.
Ugh.
What's it called? You know, Cristiano Ronaldo's son was starstruck when he saw Messi.
Bro, look at that.
He was just like, it's Messi. And he's like, his dad was like, do you want to meet him? And he was like, yeah. this is Cristiano Ronaldo. Everybody wants to meet him. And I think it was...
Ew, I'm funny too.
I think it was Danny Boy who was talking about Park. And he was saying, you don't really... Because they were talking about all the girls that were around. It was Mary J. Blige, all these celebrities.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, really? And it's like, you forget that just because they're stars, they have people they admire too. They have people that when they see them, they're like, oh my God. And Tupac was just one of those people.
Wow.
There was people who, if Tupac met them, he would be in awe.
Yeah.
Because he was in the company of people who were great.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is.
Yeah.
There's no one who you can't meet, but you're just like, wow. LeBron is one of the greatest basketball players of all time and one of the biggest basketball players on the planet. But when Jay-Z was courtside, everybody was quiet.
Yeah.
The whole team, one of his team was just like, can you introduce me to Jay? He's like, I'll introduce you. And he brought him over because it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so...
Who's your big deal?
What, forever?
Alive.
Big deal?
Alive right now.
Ooh.
Who could you meet that would be a big deal?
Right now?
Yeah.
Messi.
Okay.
Messi.
I wasn't expecting a footballer.
Yeah, Messi.
I was expecting a musician, but okay.
Nah, I'm not. I'm only Tupac as the musician I would have liked to have met. Other than that, I'm cool.
Fair
I've met
play.
a lot of famous musicians.
If you had met Michael, would you just be like, that's Michael?
I saw Michael Jackson when I worked in Harrods. Still, when I worked in
But did you
Harrods.
meet? No, you saw Michael Jackson, but you didn't meet him.
It was still crazy. It was still the king of pop walking by, and you're just like, I didn't recognize him at first because of the changes. But once I realized, it was like, my God. But what you also realize is how human these people are.
Of course.
And that's why when you ask me that now, before like 10, 15 years ago, I'd have a list.
Yeah.
But now, not only have I've been around celebrities and I've been around
Okay,
famous people.
calm down,
Not even
my
in that
G.
sense. Anybody who's been around famous people, you would know they're just human beings.
100%.
And more time, it's actually more disappointing meeting them than it is than you actually more than it. Because they who has time for you, bro? How do you think this is gonna go down? We're gonna bond instantly. I'm gonna put you on the album. No.
I mean, I'm not expecting that, but you know, like sometimes when I'm around people that I feel like I can learn from or gain from in some way, I'm just like soaking up every part of it. And so like I still remember the day that Seal came to my house. Not that anything really changed in my life. You know, he still left us in the same house. He was like, hey, I'm sending everybody to Disneyland. Right. It wasn't like that. It was just like, this is really cool. And then like recently, maybe like last year or something, I found a picture of when he came to my house, or someone found it. Someone from my family sent it to me. And I posted it and I tagged him.
Right.
And he DM'd me back just a heart emoji. I was like, oh, snap. Man, like Seal. Like, that was just an emoji to respond. Like, oh, yeah, I remember. But at the end of the day, like, I can't lie. Like, it meant something to me. I still remember it till today.
England have 2-0 up, by the way.
The what?
2-0 up.
Like, what was going on?
Yeah.
Hey, for those of you who don't know, we're recording at the same time as the England game right now.
Mad.
And I thought, to be honest, we're going to come back and find it's gone to penalties.
I thought it was going to
Don't say anything now, in fact, because...
No, it's done, man. It's 85th minute. They just scored.
85th minute?
Yeah, and England just scored again. I think Germany are out now.
What's going on in this tournament, bro?
But to be fair, it's not... England have just not played exceptionally well, but they've been good defensively. And Germany have not been great either. So it was an even game.
But I'm saying like a lot of the big names are out. Like, what's going on?
But if you think about it, Portugal played Belgium. That's a very tough game.
Fair play. Belgium are number 1 ranks right now.
Yeah, and France lost to Switzerland, which was... But even so, England would never have met those teams. Only Netherlands losing to... who they lose to Czech. Yeah. So England have a good path to the final. Whew. Because they've got Ukraine next.
You think it's coming home?
I mean, it's hard to say, man. It's whoever plays on that side will have they'll have an edge because they've played all the tougher teams.
Okay.
So you're looking at possible Spain-Italy semi-final.
Okay.
And then England-Denmark semi-final. Depending on who wins out of Denmark and Czech.
Fair enough.
But again, you can't call it because now it's open season. Like whoever wants it will get it.
Yeah. It's very interesting. At least
very interesting.
Like I know if you've listened to like quotas or whatever it is, I'm always the resident doesn't watch football guy. But when it comes to tournaments, I watch a lot more because I like the drama of football, man. I love the drama of it. I love not talking about off-pitch drama, like so-and-so got caught doing whatever. I'm talking about like, they're 2-0 down, and it's down to stoppage time. You got 2 goals, quickly go in, and it goes to extra time. They turn it round.
Yeah,
goes to
but
penalties.
you know what? It's so funny because that happens so much in tournament football. In normal football,
as in like in league football.
Yeah, it doesn't happen like that.
But it's because in league football, you've rarely got like any need for a win. You can get a draw and walk away.
What?
In league football. In tournament football, like the fact that someone needs to win and someone has to be knocked out. Knockout stages is what adds real drama. League football, you can just kind of draw and say, oh yeah, we'll get to it next week or whatever.
Yeah, because you can walk. Yeah, right. And in tournament football, but even in league football, you need the points sometimes.
True.
If your team's getting relegated, you need to win that game. So that can create a lot of drama as well because the desperation football kicks in.
Yeah. I feel you on that one. And those two do tend to make some very interesting games, man. I think you know when you're watching football and something like that. Like I can't do this on a weekly basis. I don't know how you men like get emotionally invested in a club and watch them like want them to win and then they don't win. And you deal with the heartbreak and.
To be fair, it's not. I mean, I've been watching football since I was 16, so. Now I don't have the emotional investment. You kind of know where your team is at.
Fair play.
I watch football for the fun of it now.
But even in the discussions though, like blood pressure gets raised.
Not anymore. I don't get into.
Don't you remember that conversation with Luis Agola about Arsenal,
ago, though, and that was him being dramatic.
Both of you were being dramatic.
I wasn't. I just said his team is rubbish, and he went on the floor and started screaming, "Oh my god!" I was just like, "Is everything okay?" And he doesn't even know about football. He just watches one club and he doesn't follow it like, you know. People don't.
Why is that such a big thing though for guys who watch football to be like, you don't even watch football? Like, why is there like
it's like someone telling you about comedy and they don't watch comedy.
I get that 100%.
So you're just sitting there thinking, what? It's like you come into a boxing discussion and you don't watch boxing, and your first thing is Tyson's the greatest heavyweight of all time.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, no, he's not. Oh my God, have you seen his knockouts though? It's like, bro, you don't watch boxing.
Yeah.
You're just making up what you've just seen on the internet all the time.
So
now I'm arguing with someone that doesn't even understand the concept, the sport. And so it just becomes a waste of time because all they're going to do is talk about the great moments they've seen.
The highlights.
Right, the highlights, as opposed to understanding. So someone would say to me, how can you support Newcastle? What does that even mean?
Yeah.
There's 20 teams in the Premier League. Well, we were supposed to support one.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like when... Well, at least originally, it's obviously like who's near you. That's what it starts off as.
Yes, it's supposed to be your local club.
It's supposed to be your local club, right? And then bit by bit, I guess capitalism, commercialism, whatever, starts to make certain teams popular.
Absolutely, and
success. Then there's maybe the other attachment of like you have a favorite player and they play for a club. So those are usually the three ways in which people know who you would support. And then until you maybe mention, is it Amiobi that made you want to?
No.
Who was it?
Amiobi made me want to support Newcastle? Have you seen Amiobi play?
I don't know.
Shearer is the greatest Newcastle player of all time. You went to Amiobi.
No, but I'm saying who made you want to support Newcastle? You said
Shearer.
somebody. Was it Shearer?
Was it Newcastle? Yeah, Asprilla, Shearer, they had Ginola.
Okay, I remember that your one was because you liked a player who played for Newcastle, right?
Shearer had done the Euros, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Euro 96 was top goal scorer.
Yeah, I remember
he signed
that.
to Newcastle for 15 million.
Yeah.
So he was a player I was familiar with. Yes, he was a player I was familiar with.
I remember some stuff about football.
But I didn't know he came from Blackburn Rovers. I wasn't watching the Premier League then.
Okay.
So when I got to the Premier League, the teams were the Man Uniteds, the Arsenals, the Chelseas and all of that.
Yeah.
But I didn't find any of them interesting. And Newcastle were high-flying then.
Yeah.
And so Peter Beardsley was there. I liked the black and white jersey. And so I just thought, this is a good team. And so I just started supporting them.
Okay.
But when people ask...
So that's not usually everyone's explanation as to why they support a club. And that's why that people are confused.
It is everyone's explanation, though, if you think about it. Why do you think people support Man United?
Because they
John
were
Barnes
winning.
Right.
Because they were winning.
Right. So
that makes sense to most people.
So you enjoy... Newcastle were winning. They just finished second. They just finished second when they're supposed to win the league. And they just qualified for Champions League that season.
How many Premiership titles has Newcastle got?
Maybe 5. But not Premiership, but league titles. They've never won the Premier League.
Okay.
But 5 maybe. And maybe like 6 FA Cups. But they're a historical team. Paul Gascoigne played for Newcastle.
Okay.
Alan Shearer was a top goal scorer in the Premier League. He played for Newcastle.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if these modern generations, why do you think most Nigerians support Arsenal and Chelsea? Because of Baba Yaro and Kanu.
I just thought because they were London clubs.
Nah, because of Baba Yaro and Kanu. Because before that, everybody was supporting Man United and Liverpool. Because those were the two popping teams, or Tottenham.
True.
But the moment Baba Yaro went to Chelsea, it opened up a Nigerian wave. And then Kanu went to Arsenal, even more Nigerians started supporting them. That's how you have a heavy backing of Nigerians for Arsenal.
Yeah. I just thought like if you're black and from London, you have to support Arsenal.
It's funny because
talk like that, like it was a black thing.
If you're black and North London, you supported Arsenal.
Okay.
If you're black and North London, it depends again. I also have a lot of black fans though.
Yeah.
Which is surprising because there's no, I don't know. Yeah. Tottenham has a lot of. Yeah, it's weird, but you support a team because either your father forces you to, or it's a local team.
Would you get into African leagues?
I mean, no, because they're not covered. They're not covered well.
I said no,
because they're not covered.
No, but I'm saying like if it was covered, you know what I'm saying, like if let's say it came on at 11 p.m. right, they gave it that graveyard slot, but it was popping off, like there were good players, like guys coming up off the grassroots. Would you get involved?
Listen,
you know they just dropped the basketball league, Africa League in Rwanda, right?
Okay.
Right, so there's clearly a push for this. And on Twitter, I was seeing people in Ghana talking about like a big final coming up. In South Africa, they've clearly got like they got Orlando Pirates and one other big team as well that they have a rivalry that I've seen before. Nigeria, I don't know any of the clubs unfortunately, but I know that there are clubs. So like I always look at them and go, you know, clearly this is a really easy business model, right? You just need to essentially fill up stadiums with affordable tickets, get the branding going, and get people. Many Nigerians
those are more feeder leagues, though.
Pardon?
Those are feeder leagues, though.
They're feeder leagues right now because of the money.
They're hoping those players will develop and they'll go to the NBA.
Very true, but even in the US,
so then I won't get behind the league for that model.
College leagues are watchable. People watch college.
College basketball is big,
and that's a feeder for the NBA
because it's in their country. That's a progression. It's not a feeder. It's a progression. You can only play college basketball till you're 17. Then you can go to the NBA. Why would you still play college basketball? But what I'm saying is, if you're a superstar in Rwanda,
it's that good that people watch it.
Yeah, because it's an American sport, and they watch the players progress into the next level.
Yeah,
and the whole community supports that team. That's an ethos America's built. But they're building in Rwanda is not an ethos for Rwandans to shine. It's for everybody to do what everyone else does in the continent. Exit. Because their eyes are not on thinking, I'm going to be the greatest Rwandan playing in the Rwanda league. They want to all go to the NBA.
I think they want it to be like a proper African league.
So they can feed them to the NBA. None of the stars are going to remain in the league.
They're not all going to make it to the NBA. That's the thing.
Because they're not going to be good enough.
Yeah, but no. But what I'm saying is that, like, even let's say
if it's like the Spanish
there's
league,
like 50-something countries in Africa. Let's say one star comes out of each country, right? Yeah. Not all 50 of them are going to make it to the NBA.
No.
Right? So let's say even if 10 of them make it, even if 10 made it to the NBA, you'd still have 40 stars. Right, you won't
have 40 stars playing.
You
won't have 40 stars wanting to stay in Africa. No way, you just wouldn't.
I mean,
there's how many Nigerian stars you think play in the African League?
I'm saying none.
Footballers.
I'm saying
footballers.
None.
How many African footballers play in the African League?
I'm saying none because nobody cares about it. That's what I'm saying. Like,
why would the basketball be?
If let's say I don't know. Jay-Z, a bunch of rich black people decide, all right, we're pumping up this league. We're putting money into it. We're doing nice stadiums. We've got a consortium of investors. Like they were going to do the Super League. Let's say they decide to do a proper African league. Mm-hmm. Would you get behind it is what I'm saying.
No. It's all fantasy. No, they don't.
You wouldn't.
No, because it's not. I don't want an African league run by Jay-Z in him and foreign investment and all that. No, because you're shifting the goalposts. But let's look at it for what it really is. I want Nigeria to have its own league.
Yes,
where the fans don't just feel like they have to watch the Premier League and where so it can create jobs and
that's what I'm
community
to,
and stuff like that. But the way it's doing now is not before that. It's for them to leave to go and play in the best leagues in Europe.
Yeah.
And until that mindset is changed, it's not something I'll be interested in because I don't want to watch African players in Europe win African Player of the Year every single season. Why? So Yaya Toure, Eto'o, they win African Player of the Year every year and they don't play in Africa. So how can they be African Player of the Year?
I mean, they play for African nations.
But they don't play in an African league. They win African Player of the Year. How can they win that when they don't play in Africa? Lionel Messi is the greatest player of all time. He doesn't win South American Player of the Year. He's never won it simply because he doesn't play there.
Are you serious?
100%. Ronaldinho, none of them have ever won South American Player of the Year because they don't play in the league.
Wow. I'm surprised that we don't actually
adopt those things. Have you seen Corinthians?
More Brazilian league?
Well, because it's not. Here's the thing. The reason you watch the Premier League is because of its advertising.
Yes.
It's the way it's told to you. It's the way it's sold to you.
Yes.
It's constantly in your face.
Yeah.
And we were speaking about press conferences earlier. If you didn't have those press conferences, the managers, the drama, you wouldn't watch the league.
Yeah.
And England's very smart at advertising that league to the entire world.
Yes.
So you want to watch it. Whereas in South America, they don't fund it like that. There's more passion. When you watch those games, it's sheer passion. But it's not as exciting and it's not as covered as well. They don't get the best commentators and cut to the halftime show. You got Thierry Henry, Alan Shearer and Gary Lineker having a nice discussion. You're like, oh my God, I love these legends. All of those things are reasons why we watch the Premier League.
All those graphics that they invest in.
It's TV.
They got the white circle around the player. And
people don't realize it's television. Your broadcast. Have you been to a football game before?
Yeah.
Nothing like it on television.
Of course.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You're just watching it thinking, no replays in this motherfucker.
Yeah, they got no replays.
Like you're just watching thinking this is a park. But on television, they cut the angles.
And it's cold.
When the fouls, you know that, you see all of that.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh my God, this is tense. Now, if you're watching the football game live in the ground, your heart will be beating hard because, you can't look away.
Especially watching Nigeria. God.
Whenever when you're watching Nigeria, like I watched Newcastle versus Aston Villa, and we need to win this game. Otherwise, the chances of getting relegated was high. And I saw in the warm-up, they were doing the warm-up, and they do this drill where you lay it off to the person in the wing, he cuts it back, and you hit the shot first time, and you meant to score. And we were missing all of them. And I looked to the left, and I said, we're not scoring today. We didn't score a goal. Because you just can't miss like that in the warm-up think you're going to carry into the game. But my point is, and so until we understand this, you see the NBA and the NFL and not NBA, baseball and all of those sports Americans hold dearly. It's not because It's their love for the game. You understand? The idea that a whole town will come out for a college football team, wear the same jerseys and colors, buy mugs and memorabilia and hats for their college team, should tell you something about that nation. We create these things but don't have a passion or desire for it. And that's what's going to sustain it. England love football. And I'm not talking Man United versus Arsenal. I'm talking Shrewsbury versus Dagenham Town, where it's raining and them man come out with their kids. That's why they produce the future of tomorrow. We don't do that. Everything for us is showpiece. There's no passion added to it.
But I don't think that's 100% fair, because you see the man that when they play street football in Nigeria, that's like the area boys around.
What do the money people or the people in the area? But one bridge. Don't go and do those people. Don't be serious in your life. Go and go to law.
If there was a real like rich forward-thinking Nigerian who saw them and said, "Do you know what? There's so much talent in these boys." And they don't, when I mean talent, I don't mean like until a European scout comes to get them. I mean, as you are, like, I put some nice kits on you, get some nice local sponsorships and whatever it is. We put some nice grass down and get you guys playing. Like, I really feel like, you know, by the time they add that Nigerian spice on it, the culture, like the grassroots culture builds up. The tickets are affordable for the average man. It's not, you're not just expecting Lecky babes to be showing up. Then, bro, I feel like, it could be unstoppable. A Nigerian Premier League would be unstoppable, bro.
You know what?
In terms of entertainment, anyway.
You know what, as well? What we have to understand is these are things that push a nation forward. Before you even know the lawyers in this country, you know David Beckham.
Yeah.
Before you know the so-called president and the minister of F and all these trash titles that we hold so dear to heart, you know fucking Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
He's the one. If England win this tournament, it's not going to be Boris Johnson. It's not going to be none of that. Yeah. It's going to be, after the year we've had, you're going to have a bunch of kids being called Harry, Raheem, Rashford, because of what they've done. But Africans can't seem to understand that. And this is what I'm going to say Nigeria. This is what Nigeria does. We look at whites and say, if we can just be like them.
Mad.
If I could just have a moment like this. As if England just created it.
Yeah. Yesterday, like, when we was practicing football, funny enough, and after church, like, they were taking apart the goal, and the way it came apart so neatly and then folded back into the bag, someone said, Oyumbu. And I just naturally said, what is Salah? And that I've heard that so many times.
So many times. What is law?
What is law? You know, I said the idea is that, if you don't understand Yoruba, the idea that, like, white people are just so far. They've run away with it. They're so advanced. Yeah. And I said it and I was like, my goodness, why do we keep repeating this to ourselves?
Because that's the trick that white supremacy gave us. To constantly lack any kind of belief in anything we can do. Anything black is not even seen.
We don't even know a white person invented that.
No, we don't. We don't even know that. We don't even know that. You have no idea who made that. But as far as you're concerned, because here's the thing, it's a goalpost. Yeah. It didn't come like that before.
Of course.
Someone thought, we could just make this more whatever.
Yeah.
But again, when you put it law, and it's not because white people are better. God didn't create them on Monday and then us on Friday evening after a night out with the lads, where he just rushed black people together and thought, I forgot to put brains in these motherfuckers. That's not how it went down.
Yeah.
White people did take an advantage. They did take the piss. There's no front on that.
Of course.
They tricked us.
We know the history.
However, where we are at now, if we remove the supremacy and the whiteness away, which, by the way, is like taking just a little bit of salt out of the rice. It's still heavily in there. But if we just took if we just put that to the side for a second, a lot of the problems we face is the hatred that they gave us is still within towards each other.
The hate you give.
The hate you give. The hate you give little infants fucks everybody. I didn't even think of it as the Thug Life acronym. Yeah. But the hate they gave us stays within. So it's naturally for me to look at you as a black person. And let's say you say, I'm going to pay you on Friday. Let's say you owed me, let's say you caught me 150 for the show, Ola, and let's say you put 100 in my account.
Yeah.
My first instinct is, this is what I'm saying about black people. We had a discussion. If this was a white person, I've never. Meanwhile, I did a show this weekend.
Yeah.
Guy quoted me a certain amount, and he put less than the money he put in my account.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, just to confirm, was that you? You know, he's like, oh, yeah, it's me. Yo, you quoted me this.
Yeah.
So sorry. Now, whether he did it by intention or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I never accused him of his whiteness and how this is how you sold my people in 1962.
True. You didn't, yeah. You just kind of assumed that, I need to.
He made an honest mistake.
Yeah.
Whereas it's natural for us to look at each other and be like, this is how black people move.
I mean, my experience with black people is, yeah, you're right.
But here's the thing, though. But have you not had had the same experience with junglers?
No, you're right. No, not the same experience.
I've had the same experience. They just emailed me.
I've never had co-promoters in the same show send me back and forth between each other to go get my pay, whilst both telling me that, like, yeah, he's got your money.
Yeah,
I've never had that before.
But that's just bad businessman, though.
It is.
Because I watch Rogue Traders every single day.
I'm saying you're right, but I also recognize.
Yeah, you see Rogue Traders where they're chasing the guy and I'm like, Mr. Samuels, can we just get a little quick interview, please? Mr. Samuels, is it true that you're going under? Just, what about the people that you've left starving? And you see the guy just running off. No comment.
Yo.
But when it's done as a black person, it's not just he's a bad person. Yeah. This is in our DNA.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want to meet dodgy businessmen, they're all over the gaff.
Yeah.
And they come in all shapes and forms.
Yeah, you're right. I had the same conversation with my wife earlier this morning. Like I mentioned a couple times on the pod that I was thinking about, relocating to Dubai. And so, just to do some research, she joined this Facebook group for British mums in Dubai. And one Oyinbo lady in there posted something like, my African maid has...
Wow. My chest.
Bro, this is how that's how I... She said, my African maid... I asked my African maid to hose down the garden furniture and put it away so it doesn't get moldy. And she told me that that's not her job. Like, that's the job of a gardener. And so she wasn't going to do it. Like, how am I supposed to handle this so that, bro, everything about this whole conversation was infuriating me. My wife told me there was also like a woman who said, yeah, I'm actually South African and it's kind of cultural thing. Like, it's kind of like, that's how they are. Someone else said something like, oh, you better nip that in the bud. My maid would never. Bro,
never. This is not true,
bro. This is
not true.
She told me all of this morning. Yo, in bed I was shaking. Like,
but here's the thing.
My wife said on the conversation. First thing she said was like, "What is her being African got to do with any of this?" And then
because there's Filipino maids.
There are Filipino
maids. Being
but,
specific.
But they were all basically throwing in some dog whistles in there.
They were throwing in John Lynch. Some Willie Lynch. That's it, Willie Lynch.
Some rules. Willie Lynch rules in there. Like,
whether Willie Lynch is real or not, we don't know, by the way. But
yeah, I know. I think it's been debunked a couple of times.
Yeah.
The Willie Lynch
but the Willie Lynch theory, they were trying to how to keep your hoes in check, huh?
Yeah. And to be honest, the whole thing, I was like, my wife ended up deleting her comment and just kind of staying out of it, and I respect that highly. And I think that eventually she did the right thing because there's nothing you're going to do getting into a Facebook argument with these women. But at the same time, bro, it just goes to show that, like, even for them in Dubai, they're not even in the UK anymore. It's like you are now an expat somewhere else. You've hired a black person and you still want to bring these concepts and ideologies where even if the woman was rude to you, why are you bringing up the fact that she's African?
I'm sorry, but it's hard to. The bigger issue is maids. We have maids.
I do you know what? Yeah, I don't have any.
In Nigeria, they have omodos, and they don't treat them any better than that woman was speaking to.
I said that to my wife as well. We do the same thing.
I can't really default her. The truth is, when you create that air of superiority over somebody, that's how you're gonna treat them.
But here's the thing: here in the UK, we hire cleaners, right? So that's
because we're bitch asses. Wait. We are though. We want these big homes that we want, but we can't clean them, so we hire cleaners.
All right, relax, bro.
I'm serious. Our parents cleaned, and now we're hiring cleaners. I know, but I'm just saying. I'm not even talking about you. I'm talking about all my friends.
No, I'm saying
I've got a cleaner coming over, and I'm just like, you got a cleaner coming over. When your mum was cleaning the house when you were kids, you got the kids to run around and clean. You can't do that.
I mean, to be fair, like, I think at our I don't have to explain this, but I'm saying that like our current juncture with 2 very young kids, and I with the different jobs that I do, I'm more than happy to pay for a cleaner. But I think that there's a level to which even if you're a cleaner in this country, you can still have a sense of holding your head high. You did an honest day's work, you walk away. I don't think you come into the house and I start going, come here.
It's not that Why didn't you clean this properly? Whether you like it or not, being a cleaner comes with a stigma. And that stigma, often or not, gets exercised. The same way having a maid comes a stigma. And often or not, that maid gets exercised.
You never talk to them like that, though.
Some people do, though. My auntie was a bitch to the maids. An absolute...
What, in Nigeria?
Yeah, she was an absolute
I know
witch.
It happens in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I'm saying here in this country.
But you don't have maids like that here, though. Cleaners are different. You can't disrespect your cleaner like that, though.
That's the point I'm making. So I'm saying that...
But she said that maid.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, essentially, they're doing very similar jobs. It's just that the maid might also make meals or might also do something else. Yeah,
maid is a house girl.
Yeah, but the thing, maid doesn't have to be this big source of disrespect.
I understand what you're saying.
In the whole, that's what I'm trying to say. That like, people are adding in a certain amount of like.
But what are people?
Oh, you're a maid, so therefore I can speak to you this way. But like,
people are pricks. We know this.
Yeah. I mean, that's the shortcut.
If I walk into Jay-Z's office, you can tell me get the fuck out. All I will do is get the fuck out. Even if I go on Facebook, just walked into Jay's office and told me to get the fuck out. Yeah, but you ain't rapped like that before. All right, you know what?
He right.
Right. You think I could go in there and be like, Beyonce was disrespectful to me today? All they will say is this, and who are you to be speaking to Beyonce?
Yeah.
It's just the way I think we give human beings way too much credit. People are trash. You see how people change when they figured out a little, I don't know, maybe they did a skit that went viral or something like that. And the next on Instagram, 10 ways to make your clip pop. And you're like, my nigga. And all of a sudden, one guy was saying, was it you that was telling me the other day that he was saying, my friend was saying to me how there was one guy you always looked up to as an actor.
Yeah.
And this guy's on a podcast and they asked him the question, how can people reach out to you? Oh, I mean, I'm always about, hit me up, DM me, da-da-da-da-da. This is him. I've been DMing this guy. For God knows how long.
Yo.
So it's just the look.
Yeah.
But people are full of shit.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. You think I told you I met JJ Okocha in Harrods and I said, hello, sir. I called him sir because I figured this is a Nigerian legend.
Yeah.
Hello. And he walked off. I said, ain't this about a bitch?
Golly.
But could you think the 10,000 of Nigerian fans that went to watch him play in the World Cup the next year, you think they gave a damn about how I felt in Harrods?
Nah.
So what I'm saying is, I agree with what you're saying, or don't get it twisted. The woman should never speak about the maid like that. But the problem really is human beings.
Do you know what? Yeah, you're 100% right, and literally that is the concluding line to almost everything we discuss on this podcast.
Absolutely, we are always the problem.
Yeah.
Like, remember that thing I said we should say?
We could actually just end the podcast here. With like, and
we are the problem. We are the problem. You know the man I said to you, Nigerians, this is the problem with Nigeria. Yeah. And everybody can tell the problem with Nigeria. It makes you start to realize you are the problem with Nigeria.
Spot on, bro. Do you know what? Yeah, that is so real. Because do you know what? I've been listening to a podcast this whole week about sex and Christian marriage.
Cheers.
And it's like, yo, it's if you want to boil down like the response to everything, the answer is pretty much always like the problem's you. Like there's one or two occasions where it's like, okay, you are, there's nothing you could have done. It's completely that person's fault, whatever. But in most cases, like whatever it is you're struggling with in marriage, wherever you're trying to work on, whether it's intimacy, whether you're trying to recover from one person cheating or the other, or whether it's just a matter of you keep arguing, finances, whatever it is. Most cases, the problem's you.
I think,
bro. I can tell you,
I'm not married in it.
Yeah.
But from the discussions I've had with married people,
yeah,
I think people underestimated how much of individuals we are.
Okay, how do you mean?
They thought it was gonna be Cosby Show. Party days. They thought Claire will come down, the banister just flow in, and you're doing that's how they thought you would be. They thought it would be banter. Then you realize, Ola, my wife is a full-grown human being.
Yep.
Ain't this a bitch?
Yep.
I can't tell her to shop and go away.
Nope.
I can't just get rid of her.
Nope.
I could get rid of her today, but she's gonna wake up and now the egg is cold. Now I'm gonna have to realize, oh, so you were mad.
Bro, do you know if you're somebody who likes to calculate things, like, let me see, like, what's the risk in me doing this?
Right.
Doing that in marriage, bro, you will be doing some complex integration, differential,
sometimes
algebra equations, trying to figure out, like, if I say it like this, though, but if I put the inflection on it, what if I say it later? What if I say it with flowers in my hand?
But you have to understand.
The calculations are nuts.
You have to understand, and what part of what people don't understand is when you for a couple, when you love each other, when I tell people love is the most important thing. Oh no, you want about finances and all like that. It don't matter. You could have all the finances in the world. If you don't love each other, it's about to burn. The only reason that keeps marriages strong is because of the love you have for each other. Yeah. That's the reason why you would tolerate some shit. It's like your children. You don't like these people, but you love them. The only reason you don't throw your kid out the window when they pee in your car after you done told them, do you need to pee? And they said no, it's because you love them.
It sounded hella specific.
Listen, every parent I know go into their car. Bro, you're like, bro, is it that bad?
Nah, bro, this weekend I had to go take the car to get clean.
You know, every time I borrow my sister's car, I take it back and I clean it for her.
Yeah, bro, you're good, bro.
And she's like, thank you. She's like, oh, thank you. Because I'm just like, yeah, but I don't have kids.
Do you know what it is? I got sick and tired of getting lists from comedians who are dads to gigs. And bro, it's like, do you see the car you're asking me to get into, bro?
They move everything out the way at first, innit? Like they move the car seat, the toy pram, the baby monitor. Then they've got their own shit in there. There's crisp all over the floor. But these are your kids. Now, if you had a friend, a homeboy, that every time you came into your car, he did that, would you like that person? You'd find ways to not even pick him up. Hey, you want to pick up Funmbi? Nah. That man not be respecting man's car. You cut him off quickly, Uber, but your children will be in that car the next morning with the same motive. Let's see if we can mess up the window this time. My point being, the love you have for that child supersedes you choking them.
You're right.
And so when we go back to the couples, we forget to continuously remember we love each other. That's why we took this step.
Unconditional love is the key here. Yeah, not romantic love.
Or the fantasy of couple goals love.
Yeah.
No, it's when I said, what was I talking to the other day? It's like, you know, people, I can't remember what I was getting at. But you know, when you see, there's so many options in the world today, you know, and you're going for a toilet time with your wife, it's nothing to talk to a picture in the next 10 seconds. You see what I'm saying?
No.
You just go on your Instagram and slide in the DM. Now you're talking to a picture.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
And the picture's entertaining. It looks good in every single one you go through. Now you create a narrative around this picture. She ain't gonna give me stress.
Yeah.
Look how she lay down in the kitchen. You know she throws down hard. She'll be taking hella selfies in the kitchen. You know she a chef. You know she can whip up the mac and cheese the way I like it.
Oh, I see you with the book. Oh, you a bookworm,
and you create all of this.
Oh, you a bookworm,
and then you feel like this is what you need. But what you need to do is remix. Like Chris Rock said, you need to recycle the pussy.
Bro, you know, like, one of the good things about this podcast is, like, it's called Sex and Christian Marriage or whatever, but it's like you end up talking about so many other different things. And it's like one of the interesting things is this concept of neuroplasticity. That means our brains are very, very malleable, which means you can remake your brain in whatever you want, based on what you read, what you ponder on and think about, what you watch, what you tell yourself. All of these constantly are changing your brain. So if you watch porn for a long period of time, your brain can get trained to be turned on by porn and not by human beings.
Absolutely.
The good news about that also is that if you don't watch porn for a long period of time, your brain can go back to not really wanting porn and actually wanting human beings. Your brain is changeable either way. So when a lot of people are constantly stuck in a mindset, they say, oh, you know, I'm not attracted to this person anymore. You've actually gone on almost a meditation or a practice of training yourself not to find this person attractive, to constantly tell yourself bad stories about them, to look at them and think bad things. And then by the time you say, I'm not attracted to them anymore, of course you're not attracted to.
And most of the time, the problem is you.
Bro, That could literally be the title of this whole podcast or this whole episode.
I didn't drop this quote for nothing.
Drop the quote, bro.
It's not even a quote. It's a whole verse because I had
I did whole verse.
It is. I did a show. Hold on a second. Everyone's screaming it's coming home, innit? This is what I love about England, though, innit? Watch them lose in the next round. Everyone's like this. Typical England, innit?
So really, it ended 2-0.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I had a Zoom gig.
Okay.
And it was a corporate. And they didn't want us to do any comedy. And I said that by saying they had a list of topics that we couldn't touch. Which was, I think one was gender.
Don't do that, by the way.
No discussions about race.
Don't put comedians and start telling them stuff they can't joke about.
Can you imagine booking Michael Jackson for a show and saying, we don't want to hear Billie Jean, Thriller, or just want to be starting something. Can you just do We Are the World? So anyway, so I cut out my race jokes anyway.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't like the fact that black comics get labeled as talking about race. I think it's bullshit. I think it's just a way to undermine your voice. Yeah. White comics don't have to talk about race because it's not something you experience. I would love to talk about the different spices in my cupboards, but we didn't come up like that. And number two, I pretty much guarantee the spices in my cupboard are completely different from yours. The same way I appreciate your take on it.
Using that nutmeg, yeah.
Right. The same way I appreciate watching you talk about your experience from an outside in. Please understand, when I talk about race, it's not to make you feel uncomfortable because you're not that important. Yeah. It's more trying to share my experience. And you should be happy that I'm willing to talk about race from a comedy standpoint and actually act on it when how I feel. But anyway.
But can I gently disagree with you on 2 points?
Go ahead.
One, back to what we said about Naomi Osaka and with the press conferences and stuff. They're paying. They get to ask what they want. And you can say, yes, I want to do the gig or I don't want to do the gig. And second of all, a lot of comedy in general, but especially the comedy culture of this country is based on what we can all relate to.
Absolutely.
So that's why Michael McIntyre can make it to an arena saying, yeah, every man's got a drawer just full of stuff. I call it a man drawer. And everyone goes, yeah, I've got that drawer as well. If you have to realize, bro, it's fairly novel in terms of the comedy culture of this country to go in through a room full of people and say, this is how I'm different to you, right? Most comedy's been done, look at how much I am the same as you, right? But it's now, because of how we're looking at the world, the way society's changing, all sorts of things, it's way more exciting now. And to be honest, this is the most untrodden ground. If you don't want to end up doing banal observations about all the stuff that we've already heard before, now we are talking more about how we're different. A lot of people ain't ready for that. And there's a reverse version of that in the black shows where if you go out there and you say, don't you know how black people always like, they're trying to relate with you. So there's like, tell me how we are the same. That's my only gentle disagreement with that.
It's not even that. It's a case of, I hear what you're saying and I would agree if Dave Chappelle wasn't charging £230 for tickets in this country.
But they expect him to be different. Do you see what I'm saying?
But I am different.
You are, but they don't want to hear that from. And so that's I agree with you. I'm saying,
but my point is, I understand what you're saying, but I wasn't talking from the aspect even of the people that are paying on the industry.
Yeah,
I'm just talking from the hating from other comics now. This has got nothing to even do with. I had a comic say to me the other day, "Don't go on and start talk banging on about race." And that's what he said.
Yeah, because he can't compete on that level.
He can't compete. No, you can't compete as a performer.
All right, relax. Okay. Tell him. With your whole chest, bro.
No, Ola, seriously, we stay too humble.
Okay.
We stay too humble. A lot of the times, it's like, I'm going to fuck up the room.
Give me energy.
You can't deal with that because I'm a good comic.
I love
not
it.
Because I'm black.
I love it. You're
I'm
right.
tired of always wearing that badge of, it's because you talk about being black. No, suck a dick. I had a comic say to me one time, you always, do such a great performance. It's hard to tell. I've never seen you have a bad gig, so it's hard to tell what kind of good comic you are. I said, get off my dick. So why are you watching me? So I don't watch you, so don't watch me.
Forbes, bro. I need a pep talk.
But the maddest thing, it's only because I'm tired of reducing. I said, get off my dick. He said, why are you watching me? I don't watch you, so get off my dick. And I walked off. Because again, they see the smiley face and the humility. Motherfuckers think they can just talk to you anyhow. You have to draw the line there. It's not disrespect.
Boundaries, okay.
It's boundaries. Because they say, I don't do it to comics. I never go to a white comic like this. When you start talking about how you want to shag your mum, I don't care about that. Do what you need to do on stage. Just allow me to be myself. Because it's hard enough going on stage in front of a room full of white people, just trying to express yourself as a person. I walked into a show this weekend. and it looked like it was the England fans who had just left the game. As soon as I walked in with St. George's flag, it was Billericay.
Yeah.
Hey, you ever been to Billericay? It's fucking Essex.
Yeah.
Right? That's where you get them not being funnies.
Yeah.
Right? I walk in and I thought to myself, oh, shit. I said to me and Ava Vidal was hosting.
Oh, my God.
I said to myself, how bad do I need this money?
Golly.
I go to the bar, but I said to myself, you're a comedian. You never judge a room. You never judge a book by its cover. You just don't do that. You got to give them all of you. I walked to the back. I saw it was an all-white room. And I'm talking England fans. You know, bring out the misses, you know, the culture. Couple the lads in the front with the drinks. Yeah. If you get them going, they will join in type vibe. Yeah. So I got to the back. I started analysing. I'm not going to do the Black Lives Matter stuff. I don't want to upset the room. But then the comment kicked in and said, man, fuck that. Yeah. This is what you do. Yeah, you give them everything you got. If they don't feel it, then they're not your audience. Yeah. Period. Yeah. So I went on there and I did what I did. By the time I got to the racist England football jokes, I said, again, I'm even addressing it as a racist joke. It's not even a racist joke. Yeah. It's my take on racism in society. By the time I got to that point, Ola, it was the best part. It's the part they loved the most. Yeah. And they cheered and they clapped. And because they're working class white people, which are not working class, they're, you know, Billericay, Essex type people. Sort of the F. Do you know what I mean? Those are the ones I grew up with. Yeah. So they got the gags purely. Especially when I said, you know,
but that's what I'm trying to say to you, though. Right. That's what I'm trying to say. They want, how can I connect with you? Yeah. They want to connect. And if you talk to them about football, being a football fan, or, you know, or something that's been going on in football, they're going to go, okay, I can talk to you more about that. If you talk to them about Black Lives Matter March, that's something they experience through TV, through the news. Yes,
but the way I spoke to him about it, because I did talk about the Black Lives Matter March, and my routine is simple. Yeah. I start off by saying I'm no activist, which is facts.
And they love that.
And they love that, because I'm being honest. I said it was the West End, had a couple of things I needed to return. I saw the man them. I said, let's do this. They got that. Yeah. Then I said they had feds everywhere. It goes quiet again. Because I said it was the West End. They thought we might start looting. They get sensitive because they think, oh my God, we have seen that before. But hey, was it their fault? Was it not? And he's a nice guy. I don't want to, you know. So they get a bit tense. Yeah. And I said, we said to the police, that's why we're here, fam. When we started working up our selfies, I was like, if the man them are on it though, they were dying. Because even they know about, you know, I might get a couple Dior jeans out here. So they got that.
But that's human. See, you're taking it back to human nature now.
Right.
So the thing is, like, you can, if you want to tell your experience as a black person, fundamentally at the root of it, your whole joke is that I'm a human being here.
Absolutely.
Right? And I'm having this human experience through the lens of being black, but I'm fundamentally human. If you can tell jokes in that position,
absolutely,
people go, all right, I can connect with you.
But you know what?
The problem is that people come out and say, I'm black. And they do it as a way to say, I'm different from you guys.
Yeah. And separate them like, you know how black people do. I don't do that stuff.
Yes.
You know the maddest thing?
Yeah.
What you were saying was so true, because if you can, the core of everything, this is what a lot of comics might misunderstand sometimes. Your only job is to be funny.
Yep.
Most of you try and have a point. Most of you try and change the world. That is not your job. Your job is to tell jokes. Yeah. And when you stay in that pocket, you have no issues. Yeah. So when people say, oh, you can't say things no more, some people are going to be like, you know, I'm not with the transgender people. That is not a joke.
Yeah.
That's not a punch. That's just your opinion.
People have been confusing applause for laughter for a long time.
Because you've made a good point. But I'm not here to make good points. I'm here to tell good jokes. So when I talk about Black Lives Matter or any of it's not through conviction. And if there is a conviction in it, it's hid so well in the subtlety of a joke to the point where it goes over your head. Yeah. The whole point of that routine was I'm not an activist. Yeah. And I said I go to the march. I said you got to find a way to support a cause that benefits you. Yeah. Because we marched for 3 hours. And 2 hours in, I was like, fam, I think we've made a point. That's how I felt on the day. Because after a while, the march was just kind of going around, and it's like, so y'all going to the barbecue afterwards.
To be honest, I don't blame people to some extent, because I feel like there's a lot of great comics who have slipped past that reminder to be funny and gone into making a point, and they've been allowed to be great and explode and be seen as huge. And so if you're looking from the outside, some people come as an
entry level though. You come in as an entry level.
That's my point. They don't understand that these people have actually put the work in. They've been funny. They've been funny in the most awkward situations. If you watch the second half of Never Scared, you would be convinced. Or if you watch George Carlin, or if you watch Bill Hicks, Chris Rock,
the 3-part one
with the CR, he's at
and the
Washington.
red velvet uniform. The red velvet, smack it with a dick.
Yeah, that's the first. Smack it with a dick is first half. Second half is when he starts talking about Bush and like if you're a C student.
That was an amazing joke.
I think towards the second half of that show,
when he got to the Mandela part,
he was more making points and stuff.
When he got to the Mandela part, it was a bit. I don't think it was making points. I think the material was. I think he burnt out. Do you see the beginning of that show?
I mean, the beginning he came.
How much comedy do you need?
Yeah.
Smack her with the dick. 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 And you have to understand, to go from smack her with the dick to politics, you got to get that nigga range. Because you're not thinking to myself. Range. You're not sitting there thinking, I'm about to hear that line about be elation in the middle. Meanwhile, a C student happens to be. He said a black C student can be the manager of Burger King.
Yeah.
And then the flip. I understand what you're saying with the intelligence on that.
Yeah.
But that was such a slick bar that it deserves to be in the team.
You can put it in, but what I'm saying is that like when he was writing that, I don't think the primary aim of that line was funny. I think the primary aim of that was, this is a good point I just made.
But here's the funny thing, though. Don't you think in a set, there should be moments?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
So what I'm saying is,
but what I'm saying is,
with George Carlin,
if you look at the trend, though, look at the trend, by the time you get to like Hannah Gadsby doing her, the one that won all the awards and was on Netflix and stuff, the percentages and the shift from be funny, if you make a point, that's cool, to make points, and if you're funny, that's cool, is a whole transition in percentage of how much of it is just actually meant to be funny and how much of it is actually meant to be making a point.
But that's because that's what is popping. If you're a true artist, you just leave that to be. That's what we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
You got to let that be his thing.
I agree. But for entry-level people, I understand why they're going down that road.
Well, so if you're an entry-level person, the key in comedy is to find your voice. So in entry-level, you're going to do all of that.
But you see, even that term, find your voice, I feel like that's been misused because lots of people feel
misunderstood.
Yes, misunderstood and misused, because I feel like people use that I'm finding my voice thing to be more and more opinionated because they think that that's what finding your voice is. They don't understand that it's a complex blend of finding your cadence, finding your stage persona, finding your take on the world's events, but also being able to communicate more effectively what you find funny to a room full of people who've never met you before. That is to use the term like finding your voice, it's so easy to equate that with my voice is I'm pro this, anti this, blah, 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 and then go out there and be like, well, I found my voice now, guys. I'm the one who's ready to date a transsexual.
I mean, that's your niche. That's not your voice, though.
I mean, to a certain extent, but it's all based around opinion now. Some people's niche was that they could do impressions or they could do magic as well. They could play an instrument and write funny songs or whatever it was. But now, most of whether it's your niche or your voice, it's all based around the fact that these are my opinions and I'm right, so therefore you should find me funny.
I feel like, for me, I think finding your voice is, when you find your voice as an artist, it becomes what you're about.
Yeah.
In music, I mean, Marvin Gaye is one of the most prolific musicians I've ever come across. And his voice, he continuously evolved in his voice.
Yeah.
And by the time he did What's Going On, he had found, not necessarily his voice, he had found the substance of what his music was about to be about. I mean, I'm probably saying he probably found it before that.
Yeah.
My brother probably cussed me from hearing this, but
and feel free to, by the way.
And on Marvin, on What's Going On, he had a song called Sad Tomorrows, and he talks about his drug addiction. And he sings it with such, the words are so poetic. You see his soul through it. And that's the motherfucker who's found his voice. Yeah. Same as Tupac. The moment he put out Dear Mama.
We still ain't got this Tupac quote, have we?
Imagine that. But when Pac put out Dear Mama, rap shifted.
Yeah.
So usually when a good comic, when a good artist finds his voice, the game will shift. The game will just shift. And everyone's going to try and be that. Remember when Chappelle went into hiatus for a while? And Chappelle had already had enough substance to last a lifetime, with, for what it's worth, and Killing Them Softly. Yeah. Then he came back, and not only did he find his voice, he found his chair. Bro. You found your seat in the house.
Yeah.
You understand? And then now, what does everyone to do? Bill Burr found his voice. He found his niche. That rant.
That angry guy.
You know what? I just gotta put my thing out there. Then thing you know, a whole world of people want to do that. Yeah. So when someone finds it, the whole game shifts.
Yeah. I feel you.
So it's important for you as an artist to always look how to change, not to change the game, because no one's gonna do that.
Yeah.
like Michael Dapper changed the game. The team goes split, pop, pop. Did he find his voice? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
No shade. But I'm saying he's found his voice. Yeah. But it's now how comfortable do you want to be with that voice? And can you run with it? Yeah. Can you sustain it? Yeah. Can you keep being that person?
I think if you're tapping into something that's deposited in you, and you found the raw source of it, you should be able to run with it.
You should.
If you've synthesized it, if you've tried to create it or tried to manufacture it, that's when I think you can run out of production. But I think it's a case of like, if it's deeply in you and that's who you are, it will keep coming from the same source.
Absolutely.
There's I don't know the guy that did Why You Always Lying.
Right.
Yeah, right. That guy again just found his niche. It was just a weird little bit of a song that he shot this weird video to, and people loved it. He's actually gone viral a few times off of different things because people just like the element of who he is. He's just like a different guy. He's got his own thing, right? In that situation, I think he's cool. By all means, he's found his thing. He's doing his thing. If somebody else now goes, oh, that's what's popping, I need to do that.
Right.
I think what you usually find is it doesn't work for you, and then you now have options now to complain that I'm doing what he did. How come it's not working for me?
The bad
Something
rapper.
Must be wrong.
I got to change me. She was like, my shit was more banging than that.
I got John Blaze. Well, There's a lot of mad rappers out, basically.
But here's the thing. I'm not even saying this to be big-headed, but when me and Babatunde started doing stand-up, it opened the door.
100%. What do you mean?
For so many
What do you mean big-headed?
And
what do you mean? I definitely remember sitting there and going, Babatunde is British Nigerian guy like me. He's maybe 1 or 2 years older than me. If he can do it, I can do it. And I told him this.
Right.
I told him because it was weird because he was.
Shout out to Babatunde. I saw him last week on the way back from a gig. I was coming from a gig and he was going home. I think he lives in I don't know where the man lives. He lives out ends.
Yeah, out ends.
But I saw him and it was just it was just so funny. His phone started ringing in his pocket. So, oh, my phone's ringing. Who's that? The side chicks.
Don't joke like that.
I'm playing. I'm playing. Don't break up a happy home. I'm playing. But shout out to Babatunde. But we opened up a door.
I say facts
for a wealth of Nigerian comics. Yeah. But the thing is this: everybody just assumed you just had to be Nigerian.
That's the problem.
So whereas, but don't get it twisted, because I will say this: I wasn't great. I was decent. Here's the funny thing: I had the concept of set up punchline. Yeah. But the African accent got such a good laugh. Yeah. Hey, why not set up and punchline?
What you want me to do? Hey.
But I had some authentic moments.
I feel like you just. I don't want, because it's too obvious to use the word lazy, but just underdeveloped in some of the ideas. That's all it is. You just needed to develop them
and stay with them.
Yeah, some of those ideas that you wrote then, if you were writing it with the skills you have now,
it'd be mad.
It'd be a madness.
It'd be a madness. Yeah. And that's why sometimes I look at my old jokes, like the one about the Jamaicans and your mum calling you Funmbi, this is your mother. Yeah. Wherever you are, just stay there. Yeah. The reaction that joke got was good for that setup. I thought to myself, the way I could word that now, though. Yeah. Yeah. That could really bring the understanding of the art I know to it. Yeah. But that's what happens though when someone before Nigerian comics came, who were the people doing comedy in this country? Jamaicans. Yeah. The real McCoys and them. They set this way for the Quincy's and the Mr. C's. Shout out to Mr. C, just booked me for a comedy festival.
I got booked as well.
Yeah, man. You know what? I said to myself, I'm definitely supporting that. Yeah. Because I'm so quick to go to Guinness Festival in Somerset.
110 With someone's opened up playing the clarinet.
And then just doing some bullshit and taking some terrible train ride home. Yeah, no. I said and that's the attitude I'm bringing to even if it's the most, even if the black promoter has a reputation of shafting everybody, if he has an audience and he wants me to, because I remember when I was doing my one-man show and I needed a spot to perform. Yeah, Stamina in them. Oh, yeah. Run the Sunday Comedy Club, which is not there no more because of Streatham selling the building. I think they got hit by COVID as well. Yeah.
That's so depressing. I've always wanted to go there, listen to the jazz and whatnot.
Right. So when I needed the spot, he gave me.
I messed up. Yeah.
He let me come to the show every Sunday to perform, and that's how it should be. Yeah. Because that's the only way we're gonna get better. Yeah. And so I'm trying to not, man, that spirit of quickly knocking it before it's even given a chance.
Yeah, we need to work through that, and we also need to work on reading out that Tupac quote, bro, because
which is what we're gonna do now. So yeah, I had that gig and they told me not to be racist, not to speak about race. Yeah. I opened up with, "You guys ready for the ethnic part of the show?" Yeah, and apparently that is talking about race. Man can't even announce himself, you know. And so, with the whole week and you know, the Matt Hancock getting, you know, he's hand cocked. You know, I saw this. It's from Me Against the World. I just felt like it was me against the world that day. Yeah, like you're really up against the world in this life. You can't please. I had a good show. They all laughed. They enjoyed it. The first two comics, no shade, came on and spoke about their day. I guess because they figured if we can't talk about it, I'm just gonna. They just winged it. It was 10 minutes. Yeah, and I actually did some jokes and they laughed. I didn't even do the racist jokes. I didn't even do the police. I did my name flips with the my name looks like a Wi-Fi password. But you're comfortable with that. But you can't even talk about race. I just embarrassed my father by saying my name is like a Wi-Fi password. Yeah. But I'm able to self-deprecate on that. Yeah. So I thought it was Me Against the World. So I went on the quote. And it's the third. It's his last verse, but it's very potent. And so he says, the question I wonder is, after death, after my last breath, when will I finally get to rest through this oppression? They punish the people that ask the questions. Do you know how mad that line is? They punish the people that ask the questions. So when you ask questions, you just want to, you know, you get punished for it. Don't talk about race. You know, just don't bring it up. It'll go away. You know, it's going to cause division. You know, they punish you for asking the question. Okay. And those that possess steal from the ones without possession. I mean, that one was just painful. The message I stress to make it stop, study your lessons. Don't settle for less. Even a genius asks us questions. And that was just to inspire me to just keep going. Look at this guy. You lost in the quotes?
Yeah, no, I had to proper deep it. I had to properly deep it because I feel like sometimes, because it's music, yeah, because I know the verse.
Right.
And I know like the beat kind of drops out a bit. Like
doing this.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, it's usually that breakdown moment where you're like, yeah, never settle for less.
Yeah.
But like, if you listen to it properly, that, you know, it just makes it obvious because the song's called Me Against the World. But that feeling of helplessness, that the ones who possess are oppressing those who don't possess. Then they punish you for asking questions. And then it's like, you do feel like you're almost getting it on every angle. There's no making it out of this. Is there any,
you know, the way you have to yield sometimes just to maneuver, you know? And so it just really hurt me because I had such a good gig. And they enjoyed it, you know? And they laughed and they got, you know, I did the whole Hackney and, you know, being gentrified and how we're getting a Pret-a-Manger in Hackney. Why are you so afraid of that? And it just really pissed me off. And so I just said to myself, it's just me against the world. It's just me against the world, baby.
Me against the world.
But yeah, it's just, you know, I guess what for the people listening, it's just a case of, you know, you just have to really block the noise in this world.
Bro.
And just do what you need to do.
Bro, you know this, you know what, it's so interesting because if I understand it, I wholeheartedly like connect with it on a very emotional level. When you look at somebody like Tupac, if you didn't know like some of his, you know, general ideas about life or some of his experiences in life and whatnot, you'd be like, you against the world, you flipping platinum selling artist, you doing all right, like what's your problem? And even he's sitting here going like, I just feel like it's me against the world. Like you can't win.
But at that time it was. Did you hear the J. Cole song, where he's talking about the artist, or I can't remember what it's called, and he talks about Wale in the song about how he's always mourning that they're not feeling him, the way they feel you. And Joe Cole's just reminding like, you don't even realize you have fans. Bro. They're not as much as mine, fair enough, but they just don't feel like they feel me. And you can't get over that, even though people are actually feeling you. Yeah. Let me go to the high school where the guy who's getting spitting his life away, everyone's like this. Nigga, it's never gonna happen. The crowd's like, boo!
Perspective is key, bro.
It's key. You have to face your front. Yeah. Remember that proverb I came up with? A man who watches another man's plate will only eat good food.
Fact.
Sometimes it be
you like Matthew from Devon.
Right, if a Nigerian said that, I'm like, no, this and their quotes. But sometimes it be that easy, yo.
Yo, for real.
A man who always match another man's plate will only eat good food. Nigerians will drop it like that. And man who only eats good food. Yeah. Wash your plates. Wash your plates. They have to always round it up, innit? They give you that pause, and they man, we only eat cold food. Hot your plates. You there hanging on. Watch your plate. Wash my plate. Wash my plate.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you get so stuck into what you're not doing.
Yeah.
Listen, anything that you're watching or anything that you're studying or focusing on that hasn't got nothing to do with what you're doing means you're doing nothing. So you can sit there and moan about why this person's special popped or why not. Do you know how many specials come out in a year?
I don't actually. How many specials really are coming out? Because I feel like specials have disappeared. I can't think of like.
Well, you know what? The novelty kind of wore off because
everyone got a special. Everyone got a special at one point.
It's like. I guess it was the DVD of the time, innit? Remember when DVD specials were everywhere?
Yeah.
They were money makers. So they were quick flips.
Yeah.
That's why, again, when you see a special on Netflix, people don't know the deal this person got. You don't know what you sold to be on Netflix. You think Netflix are really out here offering money to everybody? They just tell you, hey, give me Netflix. What you gonna say? Can you just cover my little travel costs? I came up to the meeting. They're not going to argue with Netflix if they want to take your product for free. You're just not. Because you're not there yet.
Yeah. I feel you, bro.
And so people need to stop pocket watching and product watch. Make the product.
Bro. I can't lie. That 2.9 still just has me
Which one?
Feeling... I mean, it's all of them. It's that feeling of like being bombarded on all sides. Like you can't... There's no way out. Like there's something in me that's like, but there has to be a way out of this. And he's literally like telling you like, oh.
He said, if ever done that, he said the politics is in the people and powers that we address. And it's like it's the truth is, we live in a capitalistic world. Money half you make.
Yep.
And so, whereas I feel uncomfortable knowing that I can hire a maid to do everything I need to do because I'm making money. That's the world.
It is, yeah.
That is the world.
It is what it is.
You need cleaners, but what I would like is if we showed respect to those people.
100%.
Like a bus driver, a person who cleans the street. We frown on these people. I don't want to be no bus driver, but people have to drive the bus.
I don't frown on these people, but I think they should be honoring a hard day's work.
Honestly.
And I think, you know, I was having this conversation earlier. It was in the context of Love Island. And it's more a case of like, if you're constantly upset and you think that what needs to change is like your entire environment, everybody around you needs to change so you can be happy, you're going to be upset for the rest of your life. Until you decide to be happy, regardless of the situation, when you're up, when you're down, when you're making lots of money, little money, when you're in a big house, small house, whatever it is, you choose to be happy. Until you get to that point, everything's going to constantly move you. Because the one thing we know in life is that you're going to see changes.
It's like that, all I really want is to be happy. And you're the maddest thing. That is all everybody really wants. You just want to be happy. But we equate happiness. I was speaking to my friend today. Yeah. And she had a baby when she was like 18. That's when I first met her. And I spoke to her, I said, seeing you become a mother has really changed a lot of my perceptions. Even though they've been broken before. But I told her my Nigerian upbringing and part of the church would make me judge you for having a baby at that age and not being married. But what I've learned in life is to never write somebody off. You know, because you don't know tomorrow.
100%.
And how, you know, watching her, she was telling me how I hear what you're saying, but I wouldn't advise that to my son now.
You're both right.
And this is me, you're 100%. This is me, and that's why your life is inspiring for younger girls who are in those predicaments. And just what she said to me, the word inspiring is funny to think my life could be inspiring. And so that's because the word teaches us that inspiration is only when Jordan hits the free throw in Game 6 and the whole crowd goes wild. Or when Michael Jackson moonwalks across the stage and people throw their TDs out. You know, we believe that's an inspirational moment.
Of the genuine line. It's like I'm going to hit it like
By the way, that was the worst simile he could have come up with. Then call me Jordan, fourth quarter in 92. I was like this. You're in the club. Jordan, what happened in 92 though? Did Jordan play that fourth quarter for real? Like, you got to check out the stats. What if he had a decent fourth quarter, but there's another player on the team who actually scored more, but they just won the game? You know, you don't really know what the fourth quarter was like.
What if Jordan listens to the song like, I wasn't even playing that well in that quarter? Like, what?
They call me Jordan fourth quarter in '92. What if your girl was like, what that mean?
I don't know what that mean.
You gonna score or what? You gonna come off the bench with it? What? But my point being, and so she didn't realize just making it from an 18-year-old girl who had a child, and being a young mother of that age, and being about 38 now, seeing her son who's 18 soon, he's a good dancer, he's done videos with Stormzy and that, seeing him, she doesn't understand that's inspirational. Fantastic. Because it could have gone left.
It could have, yeah. And to be honest, I always say that like everybody on Def Comedy Jam inspired me. The good comics and the bad comics. Because I was like, yo, look at where Jamie Foxx is today. Look where Chappelle is today. Look where Chris Rock is today. And I was also like, look at where this guy is today. He's nowhere, but he made it to the DVD. I don't even think he was that funny. But he got up there, he got on stage, he made it to the DVD. He's standing right next to these dudes. So really, whichever way you look at it.
Whichever way you look at it. There's only one way to look at it, dog.
No, but I'm saying that whether you look at it in terms of, I want to be like that guy.
Right.
That guy made it there and he's not even that big. Or I could do better than that. Or whatever it is that you think. If you want to be inspired by what you're watching, you can. You can watch a bad comic on Def Comedy Jam and say, that's all the more reason I need to get up on stage and do this thing. Equally, you can watch the exact same DVD as me and be convinced that's the reason you're not supposed to do it. Because you can go, look at these guys, they didn't even make a career out of it. Why would I ever get on stage and put myself forward for this? Or you can look at the big guys and look at how big they got, how I'm never going to get there, blah, blah, blah. All of the DVD hasn't changed. But it's just your perception.
Though, why do people think it's about getting big?
Because, bro, I mean, that one's a whole discussion. But I think our concept of success is a big part of it. But then also, if you're going to tie what you're passionate about to how you make money, getting big is a big part of making enough money.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean,
because I can name a lot of big people that make a lot of money that people won't even know.
True.
And those are, and I'm talking film directors, writers, everything, screenplay.
But in their world, they'll be big. Though.
In their world, they're known. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, when you say big, what do you mean? Because people confuse big with popular, big with famous.
For some jobs.
What's it called? Is Dave Chappelle would you say he's the best comedian in the world at the moment? As in the art wise?
Yes.
Is he the richest?
No.
Does he sell more DVDs or movies than than Kevin Hart?
No. But he sells enough for him to be
Which is amazing. Yes. But the fact that Kevin Hart sells more should give you another angle to say, okay, it's not about being the biggest. It's about being the best at what you do.
Yeah.
And by the way, the best at what you do, not comparing it to, if you're a good comedian, you're just a good comedian, man. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, on any given night, you can have Bill Burr, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, and Patrice O'Neal on a lineup. That's a decent lineup, innit? Now, what you're thinking is, who's going to bring it? Who's going to bring it? Yeah. On the whole Def Jam recording thing, when Eddie Murphy came out, with Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Tracy Morgan, and who else did he have there? And him. Yeah. Who had the biggest laugh on the night? Keenan.
Yeah.
When the white guy came on and said, we're going to take it from here, and he just stood there. He had the biggest moment of the night.
I think someone else had a huge.
Who? Go ahead. Actually, I mean, Chappelle had a moment. It was like
Chappelle was, I can't read good that part.
No, that wasn't in that.
I was talking about Def Comedy Jam 25.
No, they're talking about Saturday Night Live when Eddie Murphy comes on.
Oh, Saturday Night Live. I thought you were talking about Def Jam 25. Sorry.
Oh, Def Jam 25. Chappelle had the greatest night of his life. Nobody could match him that night.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
When Eddie Murphy came back.
Okay, yeah.
And he brought Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. Now, on any given night, in Eddie Murphy's heyday, he's doing Saturday Night Live. Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle are in the back, making sure his shoes are still shining. When he comes back. It's a new day. New era. He knows he needs that little extra artillery. No shade on Eddie. He's still daddy. Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with bringing, the kids along.
Don't call my daddy like that. Pause,
hey, you see Eddie Murphy, you call him daddy.
Pause.
Okay, so if Eddie Murphy said, call me daddy, you won't call him daddy?
Father.
I was like, I'm going to call him father.
Not daddy. Daddy? Come on,
daddy, man. Eddie Murphy's daddy, man.
Daddy.
What he put into the game is daddy, man. It's daddy level.
To be honest, when you speak to Nigerian uncles, he's daddy. So I get it, but
he's a daddy out there, man. But what I mean is, he brought those guns on.
Yeah.
Now, if Keenan went on there thinking, I want to be as funny as these men, he'd have fell flat on his face. Because he could never be as funny as them. He's just not built like that. But when his moment came, Tracy Morgan came with his whole antics. We've seen that before. But when his moment came, one line, he didn't even have to say anything. Sorry, we're going to take it from here. Sorry about that. Go ahead. He could have dropped the ball on that.
Yeah.
Could have dropped the ball. Did it so well. And that was his moment.
Yeah.
And that's what people have to understand. I was watching Keenan Ivory Wayans, and he was on not Keenan Ivory Wayans, Sean Wayans. It was Marlon. It was the whole family. Yeah. Damon, Keenan, Sean, and Marlon.
Oh,
and they were on
the whole family.
the ones we know. And they were on them American shows we don't get here. Good morning, Wyoming. We got the Wayans family with us this morning, and welcome, guys. Thanks for coming down. And you're just like, who is this show? But when the movie coming out, you're on all those stations.
Yeah.
So you don't realize the hustle, Of
course,
you just wait for the Oprahs and the popular one. Them men have been on 24 talk shows
They're
that week.
doing morning radio back to back.
Everywhere. So anyway, by the way,
they do that for weekends,
Yeah.
Do weekend? Can you imagine doing weekend in Birmingham?
By the way, imagine you've got the morning radio slot where everybody comes on because they're doing shows in your neighborhood that weekend. You don't think you have a certain amount of power? Yo, Jay, you just touching town. You got to go hit up MC Bugs. You got to go on that radio station. People listen to him. You get tickets.
I've done it. I've been in the States.
You get in where you fit in. Yeah. He doesn't need to be like, why am I not the number one radio DJ in the world?
Yeah.
It's like you're missing the point.
Yeah.
And so, what was I saying to you? What were we just talking about? We were talking about radioing. On a detour.
I mean, we were talking about having your moment, like Keenan had his moment, and then
the Wayans brothers.
Yeah, the Wayans
were on that
brothers.
show.
Yeah,
and Marlon and Sean.
Yeah,
the Scary Movie brothers. Keenan and Damon. Those are the older brothers.
Yeah,
Marlon and Sean. The woman asked a question. They threw 300 jokes at her. I think out of the 300, 299 missed.
Golly.
But one hit. And they're okay with that. That's how they play the game. They will throw darts. One's got to hit. Damon and Keenan didn't say a word. It went quiet and Damon just said something and the whole room laughed.
Yeah.
He's a silent assassin. I'm a time mine.
Yeah.
Got to find out what kind of comic you are.
Yeah. I mean, them men are goated though.
Right. So it's a common error when Eddie Murphy's around. Everybody's trying to impress Eddie.
Nah.
The geniuses don't say nothing.
Nah.
Because here's the thing. When you see Messi, what are you going to do? Kick ups?
Bruh.
You see Cristiano, when you see Michael Jordan, what are you going to do? You're going to put it between your legs. If you see Vince Carter, what are you going to do? You're going to do a windmill dunk. You're just going to look at it like that. Thanks.
Yeah, you're right. And to be honest, it's an instinct that I have, but it doesn't always pay off because I feel like I've been the one who's like when everybody's jumping saying look at me, I'm the one who gets quiet, right? And I'm the one who kind of calms down. But at the same time, sometimes I guess I just come across as like aloof or too cool for school. and then there's people basically, who have kind of gone this route who kind of get the attention. Now, in my head, it's always a long game anyway. It's not the case that, like, I'll get quiet and then everyone will be like, who's the quiet guy? Who's the mysterious guy? Let's give him a show. Not like that. But the idea is that, like, one day I'm going to have my actual moment. It's not going to come from me shouting the loudest in this room. But one day I'm going to say one thing. I'm going to do one thing that's going to be all my years of practice and work is all going to come together and be shown in this moment and blah, blah, blah. Now, that's a hard road to take because it's like, whilst everybody is letting off their whole magazine, you're just silently loading yours and just, trusting that you're going to get your shot. And when you get it, you're not going to miss. You've practiced, you're good. If you see people just letting off their magazines and maybe they get one little bullet in here, one little shot in there, whatever, it's very easy to get distracted, right? And then you're like, well, I'm losing time right now. Everybody's licking off shots.
If you do that,
yeah.
When you watch a football game,
yeah,
sometimes they say play your game.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get sucked in to the way the other team is playing.
Yeah.
And then you lose what you're supposed to do.
And then sometimes you're accused of not adapting well because you're going with your game plan, not being able to adapt to the game.
And that's fine. You got to know who you are. It doesn't matter what anyone says. It's about who you are.
Yeah.
And if you're a silent assassin and you miss your kill, that's something you're gonna have to live with.
True.
You have to. You know what I'm saying?
It's a high risk strategy.
It's a high risk strategy. Kevin Durant realized he's gonna have to score the majority of the points to win, to take his team to the next round. And he scored 49 points that night, but they lost. But if he didn't put 49 points up, it would have been a bigger margin of the loss. Then if he tried to work with the team, that's something he took, and that's something he's gonna die with. Now they say LeBron would have helped the team play better. Again, that's because who he is. Now the idea, here's the same thing. The same people would have said, well, he should have taken more shots because he's the best player on the team. You just got to know who you are. If you're not the person that licks off 20 shots, I suggest you don't. Because you just be looking at it and everyone will just be like this. That man be trying so hard.
Yeah. And that's really what finding your voice is.
Yeah.
That's really what finding who you are is. It's not about whether or not you're, pro-LGBT or not. It's about really like, do you know yourself well enough to not be swayed by someone else's opinion?
Yeah, do you know yourself well enough to like this? Yeah, I'm not pro-LGBT. That doesn't make me a bad person. Are you confident in your own voice to say that?
Yeah.
Most people are not.
Yeah.
It's like when I talk about, the marches and the white privilege, and I said, I do believe there's a thing called male privilege, but I benefit from male privilege, so I'm torn. It's just facts.
Bro, I 100% believe there's so many privileges and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, because I'm not going to front.
Yeah, I've got British passport privilege.
Right.
I've got, private school privilege. I've got, English speaker privilege. I've got, height privilege. I've got, whatever it is.
Big penis privilege.
Yeah, all of these privileges.
Can you imagine someone coming to you saying, you with the big dick, you don't know how it is for us small dick niggas. We can barely get it in. I don't care.
I might feel bad.
I wouldn't. I'd be like, you know what? Send them my way. I'm gonna flip those extra inches for you, dog. My point being, you really think, like you said last time, people don't care about your struggles. Man. You just seem to think you're that special.
Yeah.
Like people don't really care.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody really cares.
Because I could have easily said to that company, what do you mean I can't talk about race? This is my life. Do you know that been? We just won't book you. I mean, I could change the jokes.
What'd you say? You know what race? Race what? Race what? Right. I didn't even talk about Usain Bolt. I ain't talking about no races.
Right. And that's,
no F1, none of that.
That's, again, that's down to the, what I mean is not that no one cares. It's just with everything, you're going to have to maneuver, man.
Yeah.
With every privilege, every advantage. That's just life. As a black person, being black comes with its issues.
Yeah.
The thing you have to figure out is how you maintain in this world amongst those issues. You're never going to sort all of them out. You're never going to put those fires out. But you still have to maintain. In today's age, a post about injustice. I saw a post today. A guy said, men stay asking women if you can cook and clean. But dude, can you fix a sink or change a light bulb and put up mount a TV? Know your role type thing. And my friend posted that, and I said, "What a bitch ass nigga." She said to her, "What a bitch ass nigga." All of that just so women can sing,
bro.
This is
real,
me. If
man.
you slide in his DM, he's going to bareback you and then be that guy that you hated anyway.
Yep. What do you think about this? I saw a video today. It was from ZZ Mills.
Who's that one? The one that twerks?
No, she comments on stuff.
Who does the one that twerks? No, the one the bum that's always twerking and she got in trouble at the NBA game or something like that.
Oh, that's Lizzo.
Oh, shame. That's not even close.
The ZZ Mills is UK black.
Or the one that asks really direct questions type. Like, do you give head?
Yeah.
That's controversial.
Yeah, so she's known for a very direct confrontational style in her interviews and stuff. But she also just does videos with her opinions. And she did one today about how basically like in the new Love Island, there's one black girl as usual. She's dark skinned, I guess.
As
there's
usual.
a black guy. Yeah, it's like usually there's like one black girl.
Okay.
And
is that a good thing or a bad
guy.
thing?
Well, here's the thing. It's the fact that you kind of know. Like at the beginning of the show, the guys pick a girl. The black girl always gets picked last.
Who's going to pick her first?
Well, this is the thing. the point is there's multiple
Put
points
that
being made.
black girl.
One, the black guy. They know the black guy's not gonna pick the black girl.
Okay, why does he have to pick the black girl?
Bro, I'm not disagreeing with
No,
you.
I'm just asking.
These are the points.
These are the talking points.
These are the talking points that we know the black guy's not gonna pick the black girl because we know what the black guys they put on this show always love themselves, a snow bunny or whatever the general kind of point being made is. Then second of all, like it's basically when you guys are doing like the casting for this, can't you find somebody who actually likes black women? And before we even get to that, bro. Even if they ask you on the cast, you like black women, or you like dark-skinned black women, and you're like, yeah, I actually do. But you get there, and she's not as nice as you as some of the other girls. Not because she's dark-skinned. So we're mad at
a show that's based on shallowness.
Of course, the whole show is shallow.
So then why are we even
caring? It's all entertainment.
Right.
But people are starting to add, like, they're
layers.
They're trying to superimpose their own... worldview onto it, so it's like it's triggering seeing a black woman always picked last and being shown to be this undesirable.
Then don't watch Love Island, because here's the thing: I've been into a club and never been picked,
bro,
by the women or the men, and I took my L's. Here's the thing: I'm not about to do any struggle discussion with Love Island. I'm not.
That's the point.
I'm not.
With Love Island specifically, there are so many reasons to not watch this show.
Right? No. Let me be clear. Mm-hmm. Watch the show, enjoy yourself. Mm-hmm. We all need a distraction.
Yeah,
I remember when Grenfell fell, the nation was really, really hot, and I said, "Don't worry, Love Island's here in 2 weeks. We will forget the building even existed." And on cue, the whole world just forgot about Grenfell. Every year we celebrate it, and then we look forward to Love Island again. That's been the method. So what I'm saying is the whole reason for Love Island is to sell beauty, to make us feel as insecure as we can. And the only way we can...
it's just entertainment.
It's entertainment.
It's all entertainment.
But it's going to trigger insecurities in you. Mm-hmm. And the way you're going to project that is by saying these conversations.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Nobody has any birthright to be picked on that show. Exactly. It's based on shallowness, okay? Yes. If they don't find you attractive, then that's just how the game goes.
Yeah.
Black girl being picked last, she should be used to that. Because if she went to a club in Kingston on a night out in the, what's the name, Oceana, it won't be any different. Yeah. She'll still get picked last. You just went to go and do it on national television.
Yeah.
And yes, they do take the quintessential black boy who has abs, who's never been on ends, and just wants to pick a girl to shag.
Yeah.
And he sees Barbie, who's been watching since he was 10, bashing over. Of course he's going to pick her. Why does a black person have to pick a black girl? What is this, Black Island? Like, I'm not attracted to the sister, so?
Oh, man. But you see, this is the issue here. This is the issue. When you start to add more meaning to it than what it is, that's when you now start to say, oh, it's not fair or whatever. The truth is, you can't legislate desire.
Are there connotations of the fact that a black woman is not the desire of beauty in the Western world? 110%. But you live in the Western world. That's just the way the game goes. Do you know who the most beautiful women are in Russia?
Russian women?
Simple as. Do you know who the most beautiful women are in China? Chinese women. In India and Asia, it's Indian women. In England, it's white women. You're not going to change that narrative because you feel that you should be put on the benchmark.
Yeah,
it's the Western standard of beauty. You championed when Halle Berry was in James Bond. We all say, hey, a black Bond girl. But what is she? What? You also championed when Meghan Markle married Prince Harry.
I think there's a desire to have what you can't have. I think that's what it is. I think, like, if you gave these women a chance to watch, let's say, a Nigerian Love Island where it was all black people on there, they might be like, oh, this is fun, this is great. But it doesn't have the same attachment to it, because it's like, well, of course they're going to pick the black. They're all black women.
Here's the thing.
It's the fact that you can't get it in the UK, and I feel like they want it there. They want white guys to be like, oh, these black women. They want the black guys to be like, oh, these black women.
You know what it is?
I think they just want everybody.
No, because you grew up in this region. Mm-hmm. You feel that this is your sense of you. This is your land.
Yeah.
So you want the validations that everybody gets.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you feel that way. I want to believe that as a black person, I am accepted and I am loved. If I walk into a store, no one's going to follow me around. If I drive in a nice car, police are not going to pull me over. Mm-hmm. But these are not the facts.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that like all kinds of people grew up in this country, right?
Yeah.
And so let's say, for example, you are short, right? So in as far as this country's national height average is, you're short, so you don't get the brunt of the mass of women's attention. But you go to another country where people are statistically shorter, and now you don't seem so weird. You now start getting love there, or whatever it is. The truth is, at that point, if you're like, yeah, fine, okay, I guess they like me here, but why don't they like me there? Then that's really on you. Because now it's a matter of you need these people to like you. It's not just a case of you can't find someone to like you. You have found people to like you. It's just the fact that you want this person to like you. And now because you want this person to like you, now you're getting into a realm of entitlement that is just unrealistic.
It's unrealistic. And another thing is this. You're going to wage this on Love Island?
The fact that it's Love Island keeps making it more and more ridiculous. But you're right, yeah.
You know, like let's be real here. These are young people.
Yeah.
These are young people who know nothing about relationships or what it means to be a husband or a wife. They've never had to face the trials of a relationship. They're just young and good looking.
Yeah.
And they're using their time and everything for entertainment.
Of course.
But when shit gets real, shit will get real.
Of course.
At some point you have to marry, some point you have to settle down, some point you have to become a man or a woman or a father or a mother, and your perception will change.
So the winner of the last season was a black woman anyway. But they'll probably say that she was too light skinned, she's not dark skinned woman.
I don't know who won. Yeah, but I do know. I remember someone committed suicide off of the show.
The presenter committed suicide, and I think they've had a couple of other
the presenter committed suicide.
Previous contestants
who committed, and not just in Love Island, other reality TV shows where people, you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was the point I was about to get to in terms of there's many reasons to not watch this show. I'm not against the show. I just know it for what it is. But what I'm saying is that if you needed a reason to not watch this show, they've given you plenty, right? People have committed suicide off this show. Like, there's been very shallow discussions. You know what the people are going to look like roughly. You kind of know the body image stuff. You know some of them have probably had surgery and had their teeth done and whatnot. You've got so many reasons. Even just the fact that it takes up so much of your time and it's unproductive. You've got so many reasons to not watch it. Yet you still choose to watch it and try and turn it in your mind to what you think it should be in your mind. As far as I'm concerned, you are actively partaking in what you're saying is so destructive and harmful. At that point, I can't really give you this. Is
that what Zizi Williams was saying?
Well, she was just saying that it's really triggering as a black woman to constantly see black women depicted as undesirable.
But they didn't depict as undesirable, though. They didn't actually do that. They let the laws of attraction do its work.
And her point is that they should, like, if they did a better job in casting, then they would have guys in there that would want her. But I'm like, you can't legislate it like that. No. So what, are we supposed to build the show around making sure that she gets picked not last? Like, someone's going to get picked last, first of all. All right, that's just a simple fact of being picked in order. But even if, the point I was even asking you is that even if they ask you in the casting, you're like, yeah, I do like dark-skinned black women. Just like, it depends. I find different women attractive of different shades. You get there and they bring you a dark-skinned black woman who you don't find attractive. They can't now come to you and be like, hey, you have to pick her. Pick her, man. Pick her. Pick her so she's not lost.
How does the show work? Like, when you pick someone, do you stay with them, or? Yeah,
you start off as a couple. Basically, the idea is you kind of have to be in a couple whilst you're on the show. Sometimes the couples are platonic. They're like, look, we just both want to stay on the show, so let's stay in a couple. We're not really together. And there's some where they're like, I actually like you, you like me, and we're trying to find love here.
So it's the black girl hair?
I don't know. Yeah, I think this is new.
Okay.
Yeah. So the idea is that you kind of have to stay in a couple. And every so often they bring in new people and whatnot. So like,
and who did the black guy pick?
I didn't actually watch it. I just heard this all from the conversation.
I mean, I've seen
But I'm sure he picked the white girl.
Why are you sure he picked the white girl?
Because that's the general tone of what Zizi was saying. That, like, we knew he wasn't going to pick the black girl, so...
I mean, do you reckon he has the right to pick?
100% yes.
Okay.
He has the right to pick whoever he wants to pick. And that's what I'm saying. You can't legislate desire. Because the same women complaining about this, if I tell you that you have to pick short guys, you'll be like, no, I don't. I want a guy who's taller and I should be able to have that. Say if a guy goes, you know what, I don't want you. Like, that's desire. You can legislate the workplace. You can legislate, you know, how we all behave on public transport or whatever it is. You can write laws for that. But you can't write laws to say you can't even write laws to stop people from being racist. You can write laws to stop them from saying racist things.
But you can write laws for them being anti-Asian.
I mean, well...
Woo, stop you in your tracks there, bro.
No, you can't actually. You can't write laws to stop them from being anti-Asian. You can write laws to stop them from doing things that are observably seen as anti-Asian. But what goes on in your heart, they can never write a law for that.
But they couldn't write a law for what's observably seen as anti-black.
Yeah, all of that part is a separate conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we deal with what we can observe. But how people feel, no matter how many times they change all the... You can't write laws to change how people feel.
No.
So that's what I'm trying to say.
But the problem is how people have feel has been somewhat distorted a lot. We're manipulated into feeling things.
True.
Like, I do not care about this black girl who didn't get picked on Love Island. Don't care. Don't care if the black guy picked her or not. Don't care.
Yeah.
Not interested.
So do you feel like basically you're saying we haven't been manipulated enough into caring?
What do you mean?
Like that basically more work should be done to make us like be attracted or be more concerned about black women not being picked like that.
Who told you? Who said black women are not being? Who said black women are not attractive? Who said so?
I'm
like
saying
if they can tell me the day that it was confirmed that black women are not attractive, I want to hear that, because we're basing this all on MTV music videos and movies that are made by a Western machine, who are all white men who have fantasized over these white women they've had since they were kids. It makes sense to me. When I was in Nigeria, Regina Askia was the babe of Africa. That's who we right. You don't even know who she is.
Yeah, let me quickly Google that.
And she was a model. She was Miss Nigeria or Miss Africa for one point. She was in a movie called Checkmate, a TV show called Checkmate. One of the biggest shows in Nigeria at the time. Yeah. She was the one I used to go to bed and use the... No, I'm joking. I went bashing them times. Actually, was I? 93. They call it bashing then.
they call me Jordan in the fourth quarter, 93. This was the hot...
She's older now.
Yeah, I mean...
How old is she now?
Well, she's born 67.
Damn.
I can see. So...
67.
Yeah,
so 4 years older than Park. 54.
Golly.
Yeah, she had a time in it, but she was.
Let me see if they got some old pictures.
Yeah, try to get some old photos. High school pics. She was even bad then.
Okay, this is who a young Funmbi was trying to.
But she was the baby in Nigeria then.
Okay.
But everybody kind of fancied her then when she was younger.
Yeah.
And I think she was Miss Nigeria at one point or something like that. But that's who our concept of beauty was.
Okay.
Because it was always black women around us.
Yeah.
So in Nigeria, it wasn't the skinny girl it was the big girl. Because, you had that auntie fetish. With the Irobokipo.
Auntie fetish.
The Irobokipo. You know what that means, innit?
I mean, yeah.
The left and right, right?
Yeah.
The ronko donko.
The defense.
You ronko donko. They just can just make any sound in it. You're like, okay. But that was what was around in the school. But there was options.
Yeah.
Light-skinned girls, you didn't really get light-skinned girls. You got fair. Actually, she's fair.
Yeah.
You understand? But they were stuck up.
Yeah.
So you just wrote them off anyway.
Do you remember when Miss Nigeria won Miss World?
I can't remember that now.
I can't remember Agbeni or I can't remember what her name was. It was like Miss. Yeah, she was. I was gonna see if you remember her to ask if you found her attractive because she was she won obviously Miss World, right? So obviously that's like a global kind of validation, if you could. Now, if Agbani Darego, that was her name.
But can you imagine?
This is her. This is her, right?
Oh, okay.
Right. So, it's when she wins like Miss World. Do you go? Yeah, but she ain't even really what we want in Nigeria, or do you go? That's right. Like she's gorgeous, and everyone else noticed that.
Miss World. You have to care about Miss World.
True.
She's Miss World from a beauty pageant competition. That is weird. When you look behind the scenes, it's a weird industry.
Very weird.
very, very disturbing industry. So I'm not.
They put Vaseline on their teeth so that when they smile, it glistens.
And they, you see the old pervs around these motherfuckers,
like Trump.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching The Queen of Versailles. Have you seen that documentary?
No.
This guy was trying to replicate the Versailles Palace in France in his house. He had money like that. Okay. He did timeshares, but the market crashed. Yeah. And so we're watching him have this massive house he can't complete. His wife is a former Miss World or Miss Texas or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a lot of brains, a lot of beauty, a lot of brains. God, but she still thinks she's that woman. Yeah. She used to have pageants in the house so that, just to keep it alive. But I'm like, you got all these young girls walking around, these grown-ass men. These men are boogieing off-key. And it look weird to me. Yeah. So when I say if a black woman means Miss World, it's not going to set you free. The same way when...
You're right.
When a black man wins an Oscar, I get it. The euphoria for the moment is good for us. We feel like, yay, you done good. But it's moments like Love Island that make you realize it's not about that. That's not good. Like you say, it doesn't change how people feel about you.
If Oyinbo giveth, Oyinbo taketh away.
And the same thing is this. You notice how they did this? You notice how they award Denzel Washington a Grammy, an Oscar. Yeah. Daniel Kaluuya has won an Oscar. Jay-Z, Beyonce, Alicia Keys, they have won these awards. Yeah. It's the black girl that didn't get picked on Love Island. You feel me? What's her name?
Kaz.
Notice how when we win, it's the name.
Yeah.
But when it's the injustice, it's just the black person.
Yeah.
It's getting done over here, blood.
Yeah.
This is the black person that's struggling.
Yeah.
And you just have to be careful to figure out where that matters and where it doesn't.
Now you spitting today.
You see what I'm saying?
Now you're spitting today, bro.
Because again, when I grew up in Nigeria, my perception of beauty was black women. Because that's the only benchmark I had for it.
Yeah.
So, and when you hear your aunties telling you constantly white women are skinny, white women have small bums, you think, yeah, they're skinny, they have small bums. So you don't have an attraction to them. It's true.
There's aunties who do some real PR,
right,
bro.
but it's the same thing that happens here and in other countries. Yeah. Niggas is this, black men are that, Asians are that. It creates a perception amongst their children. And you following the examples around you.
Yeah.
You marry who your dad married or your mum married. If you look at Harry Kane, very simple person. Yeah. Married his missus, very quiet guy. But if you look at his family, that's how his family is. So that's what he's followed in. So it makes sense that he marries a white woman because that's what he's around. Now, when you see black men doting on white women to the point where it's like it's a standard of beauty for them, and it's almost a status announcement. That's from a colonial, growing up in the West and fit birds versus blackbirds.
Yeah.
One guy said, one guy said to me, yeah, but black girls do have attitude. It's like, what does that even mean?
That means that a large proportion of the black women he's met have an attitude that he doesn't like.
And by the way, again, it's not his fault, is it?
No.
Nothing to do with him.
No.
He just at home saying, hey, baby, can I get some milk? What the fuck you mean milk? Man, just have attitudes.
Look here, the way I see it is, it doesn't even matter whether black women have attitudes. What matters is we have got to this point where we need more and more people to validate and like us. You only need one. You only actually need one.
By the way,
only one person really matters. But the way that we're set,
circle.
The people in your circle, man. But in terms of like love and attraction and stuff like that, most people marry only one person, right? But we're constantly setting our lives up so that more and more people can follow us, click like, say you're beautiful, you're gorgeous. Especially women are constantly being so disliked. So then now when you put them in the context of one person, they don't know how to interact with that one person because they're so used to getting so much group attention. And it's like if one person doesn't comment on your picture that day, 200,000 other people will, and they'll all be like, yeah, you're looking good. Now when it comes down to one person and you can't deal with the fact that maybe you're not getting what you want out of them, then you start to struggle. Or if, let's say, you're the other way around and you're a guy and you're used to giving your attention to all these girls online and you constantly following this girl and leaving heart emojis under her picture and whatnot and DMing all these different girls. The day you have to deal with one and maybe she's not jumping up and down or even cares, or maybe she needs some more out of you. She needs more of your attention. We struggle. And it's because all we've been training for is for the masses. We're not even fit for one person.
Well, the thing is this. What I don't like is when you
just belong to the streets.
When you equate this black girl being picked last to black women not being protected. Another example of a black woman's voice being shut down. Another I had a comic put on her status. You saw I put in the group. Dave Chappelle's charging X amount for tickets. Nice way to feel excluded. Your audience is going to be a bunch of middle class white people.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, you can't afford the show. So Chappelle's the devil. Someone said it's not like he needs the money. So you he's the accountant now. You know what money? You know what more money I need,
bruh.
Does who's the owner of Amazon?
Jeff Bezos.
Does he need the money, Ola?
Bruh.
Does he need the money?
He doesn't, man.
Has he stepped down from work?
Actually, after the divorce, he might.
No, I'm just saying. Even after the divorce, does he need the money?
Nah, he doesn't.
As he said, I'm retiring because someone else has to get some of this pie. So that aside, even with the whole we need to protect black women, a lot of things are said but not explained.
Yeah.
Because they're nice. What's the word?
Buzzwords.
Yes.
Yeah.
Said but not explained.
Yeah.
The truth is, a lot of black people do protect black women, but it's the ones within your life. Because you can't protect everybody because you don't know everybody. Do you believe it or not? There's some black women I won't like.
But this is what I'm trying to say.
You know? And
people
so if I don't like them, it's not like I'm going to start protecting them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So for instance, this black woman on Love Island, the fact her and the black guy on Love Island, the fact they're on Love Island, already I don't like them in the sense where I don't like the show. So anything that happens on Love Island, unless it's them being called a nigger on the show, which is like, okay, there's no need for that. But anything else that happens within the parameters of the show, I cannot care about.
I think that's a good note to wrap it up on, bro.
Well, we gotta wrap up in a bit more of a rounded though. We can say I cannot care about. What I'm saying, I'm trying to say what I'm saying to you is like this. Understand the position you serve. Yeah. Nick Cannon, remember when he said the word original Hebrews?
Yeah.
And he damn near he almost lost every opportunity. Yeah. But thankfully he was able to clean that up. Yeah. Then he got Godfrey on the show. Yeah. And Godfrey said, man, he employs a lot of black people. And that's what I'm trying to explain. Know who you are. You're more useful doing Nick Cannon wilding now than you are talking about this than the original Hebrews. Yeah. We don't need that. We need you to keep them employed. Yeah. So they can go on tour and keep doing what they're doing. Yeah. That's more important than this woke back position everybody wants.
You say woke back position. You said woke back mountain.
Woke back mountain. But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Understand where it's... Malcolm X was an activist. Yeah. And he didn't end well.
Bro, most of them die, bro.
Right.
If you're doing it right.
Right. If
you're doing it
you
right.
can't have ring card girls and the wild style and think you're going to be out here talking about we the original Hebrews. They're like, nah, nigga. Now, if Farrakhan had said that, we can allow that. Yeah, but you out here with ring card girls. Yeah. We're paying your lights out here. Yeah. Let's understand our roles.
Facts.
So with the girl on the Love Island, and it's unfortunate for her, but if she went into the show thinking she was going to pick first, she went to the wrong show.
Bruh, everybody is there to go and get their brand deal with some clothing brand or some eyelash brand or whatever it is, right? Let's all be honest about it. In return for that, you give us however many weeks of entertainment. Mm-hmm. We see you either really or pretend to be heartbroken, kissing different people, wearing bikinis, getting into arguments and fights with other girls. And in return, we'll give you a brand deal afterwards.
My friend says she watches Love Island because it teaches you about men. Oh. It lets you know. She goes, it lets you know how men think.
Oh my goodness!
And I was just like,
and that's the reason I watch porn, so I can learn how to have real sex and intimacy.
I watch it for the acting. I watch it for the
cinematography.
Yeah, I watch it for the picture quality. Yeah. I watch it for the indie filmmaking side of it. Like a lot of the solo cams. I just admire how, they put in their own work. And it just makes me feel if they can do it, so can I. And on that note.
We out. Where can the people find you?
At Funmbi.
On everything.
Big announcement soon.
Okay.
No. That's what everybody does. Big announcement soon.
Big announcement. Stay tuned.
No, when the announcement drops,
we ain't tuned into anything since we got digital TVs, bro. We ain't tuned into nothing.
Stay locked.
Yo. Yo, 5 year at Ola the Comedian, and that's on everything.
That's on Crip. That's on Neighborhood.
That's on Neighborhood. All right, guys.
All right, man.
Stay
blessed. It's
blessed,
not coming
man.
home.
Peace.